see who's first to come in tonight. Spoony #00. What's up? I don't think I've seen you before. Spoony, you might be new. Ray Cash, Dope Dealer. Is that Callie? Callie? Redman. Pretty Face. What's up? Space Time Theory. How's it going? DJ Coma. We're just gonna get the usual shit where we get people in here, and then I'll get Reggie on the phone, and then he'll get his guests and talk about stuff. Taking it, Ronnie. No, not taking attendance. I was the one gonna do my reaction video. Okay. Alright, Spoony. No, MC New York. No YouTube beef. Let's see. Yolanda Outlaw. How's it going? Yeah, Ray, you're right about that. So we'll see what Greg says in response. So, but remember, the other channels only post facts, according to them. Ronnie, him and Reggie talk. It's not. There's no bad feelings there. They talk. Dope Dealer. No, he's never come on this show. He's done. I think he did 313 Live, but I know he stays over with that MREC guy who monetizes the shit out of it. But I saw on Gene's video, he's like, I don't monetize this or anything. I just send it to my homie MREC or whatever, and then I commented, it's just like, you don't, but he does. He monetizes the shit out of it. Advantage Tennis International Tennis Academy. That is a fucking weird name to be in this group, but I'm not mad at you. How well do Eugene Deal and Reggie get along? You're gonna have to ask them. I know they talk on the phone, but as far as what they talk about, I couldn't tell you. You know. Tony Cole, thank you. I hope you're having a good night too. Yeah. People saying their channel. Actually, I can't say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. Reggie will speak on it, but that live stream last night was brutal, and I was only in there for maybe 20 minutes tops, and that shit was, yeesh. But I'm not gonna say anything else. I don't want to ruin anything. Are you gonna post this? Yes. Rob Redman. What had happened was our channel got a strike to where we weren't allowed to live stream. So we were live streaming on Reggie's channel, which was the Raw Uncut, and then after we would go live, we would upload the replays here. But now, for whatever reason, I don't know if RJ dropped the strike or if YouTube stepped in and fixed it. Honestly, I don't know. But we can live stream again. So it'll be just like before. We'll do this live, and then after it's over, it will take a little bit of time to process, and then the replay will be right up. So let's see. All right, we got Tupac in here. Thanks for the ad on Instagram. Golf. No, nobody added you on Instagram. Richard, please don't promote other shit in here, if you don't mind. John, have you ever heard of Los Scandalous and Dante Benz? Of course. Most of the shit you guys got because of them. So why people talk bad about them? Half the shit on your MP3s is thanks to those guys. They posted audio that may be interesting. Yeah, I heard it. It was an interview snippet with Tupac saying how he met the Gambino family or whatever, but whatever. It's one thing to post a 20-second interview that they didn't conduct, they didn't take, and they didn't. They obtained it from someone else. At least the photos and shit we take are ones that Reggie took. John, have you been listening to Gully TV? He's been going. No, I haven't. I did see some shit, some conspiracy thing, and I'm not going to say the channel or controversy or some shit. I'm not going to say the full channel name, but it's this idiot in Canada that is on some of the most weirdo shit I've ever seen. This guy is posting 2-hour fucking edits saying that with evidence saying that Snoop Dogg set up and killed Tupac, and this guy is a fucking weirdo. He makes videos about Tekashi saying that that people are gullible for falling for his publicity stunt, when this guy's whole fucking channel is a publicity stunt. I mean, it's just to get views. It's I don't like to use this word, but it's literally the epitome of a culture vulture. Like when he talks about people's names, when he's talking about whether it's Greg or Russell Poole or Reggie or whatever, he doesn't even know their names. That's how you know he's just saying shit to try to get views. Like I think he calls Greg Kading Craig Kading, Craig. So it just shows you these guys that they were never fans of Tupac. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They saw some bullshit DVD documentary and then they start making videos, and they one catches on and then they keep making them, so they keep perpetuating the same theories. Shamu, some guy, controversy, I don't know his name. I'm not going to say his channel because it's complete garbage. I think he's in Canada. No disrespect to people in Canada, but this guy gives you guys a bad name. A fucking idiot. John, ask Reggie, does he know this guy named Big James? He's on Al Prophet channel. No, that's already been discussed. No one knows him, as far as I know. I'll ask Reggie again, but last time we spoke about this, no one knew who that guy was. I'll tell you this, Eugene Deal is calling Greg Kading out as a liar. Look at my proof. He did say that. But we don't know Greg's side of it, so that's what we'll get tonight. Let me go ahead and get ready. Let me see how many people. Okay. We got more people on now than the other channel had at the most last night. And we're just starting. We're about 6 minutes in. John, do you know if there are any more leaks coming in the future? I really don't, to be honest. Not that I know of. And I'm going to be dead honest with you. Unless something gets released officially, I don't see anything coming. But we'll see. Okay, I'm going to mute the mic for a second while I call Reggie, and then we'll get this live stream going. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll just be gone for a second. Hold on. Okay.
What up, Bone First family? How y'all doing today? Man, we ain't been here since, it's been like 10 days, huh?
It's been a while, yeah.
Yep, hope you all will. We gonna try to close up the interviews. I'm sorry, it's been me this time. I've been kind of busy lately. I don't know what's up. But anyway, gotta make some money. Cool. Hope all of y'all doing well. I couldn't let it go. I wish I would have known though that they had a KKK convention last night, because we sure would have did this last night. Mm-hmm. Get those crackers off. But John, did you notice? I didn't mean to say crackers.
There you go. There you go. Got caught.
But y'all know I do use that word. I use that word.
Yeah.
I call them that, motherfucker. But anyway, what I was gonna say?
Something did I notice something last night?
Did you notice last night that poor JMX, y'all? I'm for it now. We're gonna do a GoFund page for JMX so he can get some internet service. Do y'all know he was sitting in a car when I know some of y'all watched it because they had 140 motherfuckers on it.
Yeah.
And so I know some of y'all, but hey, my guy, Weird Up, however you pronounce it, I appreciate you because you sure was letting them have it. on the board. You and my boy DJ AG.
Mm-hmm.
But he was sitting in the car. Wasn't it obvious to you, John, that he was in the car?
Yeah, he was probably in like
the car.
Probably in the parking lot of like a Starbucks where you can get free Wi-Fi or
Yeah,
something.
and that's why he was. That's why he had to kept cutting off. So he had to go get internet service from Starbucks or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He think he's so slick.
And had
Man, if the nigga just be cool, nigga, help him out. I would help nigga out. You know, how can RJ let this boy be thinking like that? John, whenever I'm doing bad, you help me out, and you know, whatever. I call and make some calls for you when you need something, man. But that motherfucker, you know, god damn.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I swear, we're not gonna just talk about them tonight. We're not gonna just talk about them. And so let me do some house cleaning. I told Greg and Michael Dorsey they're going to call in about 8:10.
Okay.
And so let me just tell y'all where I stand with things, and so people won't be saying, why you did this or why you did this. Okay. Eugene Deal. I have been talking to him on the phone. I'm not saying that I agree with him on anything or don't disagree, because there's things that he know that I outright disagree with him, and then he opened my eyes on some things. Let me just say this. I'm still an advocate, and I still believe the murder rap theory. Y'all call that dry snitching when most of y'all wasn't liking me or didn't know me. That's a better word. Mm-hmm. And y'all you know, that meth head kept saying dry snitching. That's all that rings in my ear every time I think about that. But, so, you know, all I just said is I agree with the murder rap theory. Still does.
Yeah.
Still does. Or still do. Man, my English is terrible. I still do. I promise I don't write like I talk, y'all. So anyway, but I have spoken with Eugene and all of that. I could see maybe an interview coming soon with him. Well, not an interview, or just a talk or something like that. He's like RJ was, and I'm not slighting him. He think our value was worth more than I think our value is worth. Y'all remember I used to say that about RJ when we were talking about doing the big debate and all of that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. People just have bigger plans than Reggie foresee. Reggie just don't look at his value like that. Okay, so that's what's up with Eugene. But in fairness, Eugene Deal is a loyal dude. Even though he's boisterous and loud and he's loyal. The person that put Eugene and I together is 313 Live. Mm-hmm. And so I feel bad, and I don't think I could ask Eugene to come on Bomb First without blessings from either 313 Live or Real. Yeah. But I wouldn't even put Real in that situation, because I know Real is a good dude. Real will just be like, yeah. Let's do it. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
Those dudes, okay. Yeah, looking for the truth. They don't usually. There's not a lot to highlight there, so. These talks on YouTube. Okay. Did you guys see this Young Buck shit? Did you guys see that? How they got a girl or a guy that used to be a girl, or a girl that used to be a guy, or something came out, and then they I guess he called the girl and said, you need to make up some shit and retract that, and she recorded that and posted that up. Man, that's crazy. I mean, I believe do whatever makes you happy, but when you're hiding like that and then you get caught, when you do shit like that, it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time before you get caught. But that shit was so shocking to me. Oh, Coleman, he got caught a second time? I just saw the first one. I didn't know he got caught a second time. I just heard the first one where he was crying and shit. but oh, he did do a video. Okay, all right. Because I looked on his.
That's good. You understand? So let them cats do what they want to do. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not restricted. See,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me get on because I'm on the show already, bro. And so let me deal with them and then I'll get back with you. Okay, baby.
in the meeting now. I don't have that problem no more. I'm getting paid every month. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing without me correcting their ass. Especially if it has something to do with something I know personally about.
Yeah. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me? John, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That was Eugene. He was just talking to me.
Okay.
But anyway,
yeah, we could hear some of that.
Huh?
We could hear some of that.
Oh, don't tell me that, because I don't like doing that.
Okay.
But anyway, y'all know me with these phones. So anyway, I'll deal with him. He's gonna be listening in, and so if anything get too crazy, then I'm sure he'll call me back and let me know what's up. But like I said, me and him gonna do we're gonna do a talk, and I'm sure he's gonna be listening in. And if there's something gets too crazy at all ahead, he'll give me a call and he'll talk to me. And so, but like I said, he's a fair, straight up dude.
Yeah.
And so he's the type of dude that I got at least, because I can't do my boy Real like that. You know, don't disrespect the bomb person.
No.
Real is the one that Real is the one that put us together and linked us up together.
Yeah.
And so that's what's up with that. We'll work it out. Either we'll be doing it with 313 and 313 come over here to us because, you know, we have a different audience than 313. You know, 313 audience is mostly a lot of us that's here, but on the streams we get a little bit more activity because we do them a little bit more often on how we do it than Real do. Yeah. So anyway, that's up with that. And then like I said, you know, with me, I can't just be the type of dude that just say what I want to believe and what I hear. I tell y'all all the time, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly with me. Y'all don't think so, but I believe in putting out both sides. Y'all know I done put out people that disagree with things that I've done or do and all of that. I believe in that everybody speak and say what they want to say.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my little house in Corona. Nobody can intimidate me over the phone. People are like, oh, you don't talk to this person because you're scared of them. Okay. Yeah, I'm scared. Yeah, you ain't been talking because until niggas die, and then you start talking. Yeah, do your research, bro.
Yeah.
I done talked about Mr. Big Bad Suge Knight and everybody when he was out on the streets, knowing where I live, know exactly where I go to church every Sunday and everything. So, yeah. But anyway, this is not a negative night. This is just people responding. Hopefully Eugene hear and won't like what he will hear or whatever, and he'll want to respond. He may get some things clarified. Greg and Mike may clarify some things that happened, that some questions that he had that they couldn't answer, or they have some, who knows? Who knows what happened? Let me try to drop one of these.
Okay. He dropped one. All right. Hung up on me. All right. Let me get him back. Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, John. Okay. I was seeing a call that said drop. I got to learn how to work this phone.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah. So that's what's up with that. So I hope I clarify why Eugene hasn't came on. Number one, because he's loyal to Rec, and like I said, 313, and but he and I do communicate, and it's all good. Okay, well, I'm trying to wait for Mike Dorsey and Greg to call. I told them to call at 8:10.
Okay.
So if they don't call in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'll try to call them.
Okay.
I don't need a new phone, LLC. I just need to learn how to work this motherfucker. Okay, so we talked about the meth head and the racist, the KKK convention. So you didn't find that tape thing. You know, he tried to throw a jab at us and said that, what that fool say? That we only tell good stories and all of that.
Yeah.
He was trying to throw a jab. But we don't just tell stories, death row stories and all over here. But I find that funny to say because everything that he reports is a story from Frank or Michael Moore or Russell Poole. And then he tried to jab at us, which he admits. And I wish John found that, but I know he was at work today, so I wish I would have thought over the weekend. That stream where he pretty much tells it and admits it. But you guys that hadn't been around the whole time, he says on the stream that Frank wanted to apologize for the stories that he was telling about me.
Yep.
You know, I know those not the exact words that he used, but that's pretty much what he meant. And so, yeah. Suge trial is starting on on September the 24th. But y'all won't start hearing no testimony because if y'all know anything about trials and stuff, man, it take motions and this and all of that, picking a jury. Y'all probably won't be seeing any action until sometime in October. Y'all know if y'all know anything about that. If we get enough time and we get dead, if y'all want, y'all know I'll give my phone number. I don't care. And some of y'all have some real decent questions to ask Greg and Mike. If I don't see it, I'll let y'all talk to Greg and Mike. I'll call y'all. I'll put your number up. And I'll call y'all and at the end, so y'all can stay tuned, or stay around. Let's see. Okay, so we talked about the meth, the crackhead, Tanique. What's Tanique talking about? He's talking something crazy I wanted to touch on, but we'll leave my boy Tanique alone today. I'll think of it. Okay, this is Mike Dorsey calling now.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all. All right. What up, Jamal Elmi? You know I gotta give love to the people from the hood. Hold on. The bomb first. We're gonna try to get Greg Kading on so we can all talk at the same time, so we don't have to repeat anything.
Yeah, hey, Greg, I got Greg on right now.
What up, Gregory? Oh, he's not on yet.
There we go. I think we're all connected now.
What up, Gregory?
What's going on, Mr. Wright?
Oh, not much. You're going to get me beat up by Mr. Eugene Deal, but we got to keep the truth going, and we got to keep it going to try to get stuff clarified, but it's all good. You know that, right? All right. So, yep. You know, I ain't only worried about getting beat up, huh? But anyway, let's see. So what's up with you guys? Y'all been doing good?
I'm doing good, man.
Sorry we were late. I was busy. Greg had to tell me what lies to tell.
Oh, he had to coach you. He had to train you.
Yeah,
he had to do you. What up, wired up?
You know how I am.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started because we've been talking for about 15 minutes, and I probably done got myself in trouble about 10 times already. But yeah, I know. I love getting in trouble. Fuck Reggie and a fucking coon. Okay. You know you out of here, Mr. Driller. So anyway, I want to let you guys mainly talk. Y'all know what the subject is and the topic is, and it's not. And once again, I'll clarify. I just so you guys know. I don't know if you guys folks know. I have communicated with Eugene Deal a couple of times over the phone, and we've been trying to clarify, getting some of our facts straight and all of that. He's under the impression that y'all misrepresented yourselves on either the documentary and the unsolved thing. And so, I just want to clarify and get y'all side of the story. He's more than welcome to call in if he decides to, or we'll do a call later because y'all might not want to talk to him directly, but I know that ain't just you guys' personality. I know you guys will talk to everybody because that's just how y'all are. So I don't think he will. But we'll just put it out there. I'm not trying to shit on Eugene or anything. I'm just trying to get things cleared up so we can keep this community going right. Because as I tell everybody, and I'm still saying it, I am a supporter of what Greg Kading's findings was and what Micheal Dorsey and Greg Kading's put out on the DVD, and somewhat of the input, 90% of what they put out on Unsolved, which y'all got to understand things are done for TV because of the amount of time and time constraints and all of that you have. And so that's why I say 90%. 10%.
Yeah,
that's a little,
I'm with you on it. I'd say it's about 90% is it, like, it is what it is.
Because they have to do it. That's just how TV is. I know most of y'all want stuff to be, straightforward. I'm talking about to the community now. They just want things straightforward and told like it is. TV just doesn't work that way. Okay, so I'll ask the 3 questions that I want y'all to talk on, and then I'm going to let y'all pretty much talk. And John, after that, you can take over. Okay. I'm hoping if we don't go too long, if we could take a few phone calls, if we got some people that want to just call in and ask some questions directly to you guys, because, and clear it up. And if they get too crazy and they talking, telling us how much of a coon I am and all of this, then I'll just hang up on their bitch ass, right? All right. Yeah. And I know Greg, don't like all this negativity, so I'll try to be nice. So the 3 things I wanted to touch on with you guys is number 1, to clarify, and I'm just gonna throw them out, Greg, and then you can talk, and then Mike, you can put your input, whatever. If you can just clarify the taping, when he was upset or disappointed that when he found out, or how it went. That you guys was taping him, which, I know from law enforcement, you can tape people. People don't think you can tape them without them knowing. That's not against the law for cops to do. I mean, we did it all the time. I used to hide tape recorders in the back seat of the patrol car and let suspects try to talk to each other. So people think that you can't do it. We do it thousands of times, hundreds of times. So that's an accurate statement that he's making about that. But I understand what he's saying. If I'm there in good faith, then you shouldn't do me like that, because I didn't have to come down and talk. That's one thing. Let me. And then the second thing, and then I'll let y'all take over because I don't want to talk too much. The second thing I want y'all to talk about is clarify that, to clarify the KPD thing. It's flabbergasted me that people say that you guys would use KPD as a pawn or to trick him or something like that, when that's not the case. You were working. If you weren't gonna make him lie, Greg, you would have made him lie on the Biggie thing. On the LAPD case. But I'll let you go into that. That's just Reggie's opinion, and I got to throw out why lie about Biggie. Why lie about Tupac case when you was trying to solve the Biggie case? You wasn't, on the Vegas thing. And the third topic that I wanted to talk about was, what else he brought up? He brought up a third thing. What was the third thing he brought up?
He talked about Zip.
Von Zip. And I understand what he's saying, and I respect his opinion of, Zip is probably how I feel like Miles James. Hey, this dude was a straight up dude, a gangster. This was a good dude. This dude made money. He didn't, but we all know, and I'll let Greg talk more about it, that, come on, Zip, no, you're not. I don't think you were trying to say that Zip got on a plane from New York and flew to Las Vegas with a gun in his luggage. I really think Zip had some workers and stuff in Vegas or LA and had him to bring a gun, being that type of dude, if he didn't have a house in LA already or a car in LA already. So I'll let y'all talk about those 3 things. And then I'll read the board and we'll see what's up with that. So go ahead, Greg, and then y'all take over.
Greg, you want to talk about police recording people without permission?
Well, yeah, that's just so simple. We can just iron right through that. I'm absolutely shocked that Eugene Deal would even be questioning this. I presume that he has some kind of law enforcement insider background, and for him to be skeptical or offended by the fact that cops taped people's interviews is just ridiculous.
Well, his point, not that, Greg, his point was that unknowingly that you was taping it.
We never do. You know, we typically we don't have recorders in the rooms most of the time.
Yeah.
There's just some microphone hidden somewhere, and there's a recorder in another room, and you stage the whole thing, and you go in there and you sit down, and you know, the whole idea is for people not to think they're being recorded, so they're more at comfort, more at ease, and not thinking about, you know, their statements.
And let me cut you there. If any of y'all ever watch 48 or any of those things, y'all see those rooms, they be taped. Those people don't be knowing their own cameras, or the 48 hours camera is there taping on while they. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And also, it doesn't matter where the interview is taking place or who else is present. It doesn't matter if your lawyer is there. It makes no difference. And if the police weren't allowed to record people without permission, then police body cams wouldn't be legal. Those things are recording all the time.
Yeah, so there are some little idiosyncrasies to it. Like the example Mike just used, if a lawyer and his client are in a room, that's privileged communication. You don't record that. But if a lawyer's sitting in a room during an interview with law enforcement officers, then the subject or the suspect or the witness or whatever it might be, of course you're going to record that. You're preserving the evidence so that when you write your report, that person, if they contest it and say, well, I didn't actually say that, well, now you've got a situation where it's his word against yours. So that's why you produce a tape and say, well, here it is. We can just listen to this tape and we'll know exactly what they said. So it's all just part of an investigative process that I'm just absolutely shocked that he would even be surprised by the fact that he was recorded. Everybody was recorded. Everybody in that investigation was recorded.
Yeah, and I don't think in all the tapes that I listened to of interviews with people in this case, I don't think I heard a single one where they told the people, hey, you know we're going to record you, right? They would usually say, you know, the date and time at the top of the interview just so it went on the recording, but they didn't tell the subject that's what they were doing. And I saw someone else make the claim that they have to do it. They have to tell you because your words can be used against you and the Miranda rights. I'm like, that's only if you're being arrested. It's not if you're just a witness being interviewed.
Well, you don't have to tell. Recording somebody and Miranda admonition are completely different things.
It's totally different things, right?
And let me say this: you can talk to people. You just can't use it against them in court of law, even if they're suspect. You just have to have. We have a case law with Compton PD where a guy named Red Mason was talking to a guy, but let him know and told him, "You're free to walk away at any time. You can leave at any time. But he was still in a custodial position, and why the case got thrown out, because even though they told him you can leave, and they didn't read him Miranda rights and all of that, you can leave, because they said that he was still in a custodial type position is why. All that does is just mean you can't use it against them in court.
Mm-hmm. Well, Miranda is a completely different issue and it's a different subject. But as far as the subject of recording, it's ridiculous for him to even be bringing that up. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, I'm questioning.
But Greg, in fairness to Eugene, and then I'm playing devil advocate because that's what I have to do. You know, in fairness, his argument was that he came there in good faith and he was being taken unknowingly as a witness.
But I still don't understand the point, Reggie. What is the point? He's a witness. The cops want to preserve his statement. They preserve it. The best way to preserve it is through recording it. So therefore, down the road, if he needs to refresh his memory, you can go, oh, well, Eugene, we have your tape. Why don't you listen to it? Or if he gets up on the stand in court and can't remember something, you have preserved his statement. And so, you know, regardless of whether that he feels that he should have been told, why? We don't tell anybody. He's a witness. We expect him to come down there. We expect him to do his civil duty. We expect him to tell the truth. And for him to think that somehow he should be treated special, I don't get the point behind it.
Okay, I'll just pointing out this position. Okay, the other thing I wanted you to talk on too, I know the third thing was about the pictures and stuff like that, about showing the two different pictures. The Amir Muhammad and all of that. If you can talk about that too, Greg. Well, go ahead. I'll let you put it in the position you want. Yeah. So
during the early stages of the investigation, Eugene came in. He was interviewed, and he was shown some photographs. A 6-pack of individuals in a lineup, and he his statement. He saw one guy in the position number 1 in window number 1, and he says, yeah, that looks like the guy. He didn't say it was the guy. He just said, yeah, that looks like the guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we get that all the time. He's not saying that's the guy. Well, then, of course, we see years and years later, he goes on camera in the documentary, in Broomfield's documentary, and he points out specifically Harry Billups, Amir Muhammad, and says, that's the guy. Mm-hmm. Well, I raised that question with him later because the two individuals in those two six-packs don't look all that similar. And at that point in time, Amir Muhammad's photograph had already come out in the newspaper, so anybody following the story would have seen Harry Billups, Amir Muhammad's photograph in the paper, and that taints your the integrity of a witness identification. So anyways, I bring it up later to him on the phone. Me and a reporter named Chris Vogel, we're on the phone. I'm talking to Eugene Deal, and I asked him about it. I said, listen, I'm questioning that ID that you made on the documentary.
And let people know that you wasn't a cop at that time, right?
No. This is after.
Yeah, just let people know. I know it because when you said it.
This is after I retired. This is like 2011 or something. Mm-hmm. And I called him on the phone and we were talking, and I said, hey, listen, I got to bring up this ID that you made on this documentary. And he says, Greg, it was just one of those things. We're on camera. I didn't mean to say it was the guy. What I meant to say, that looks like the guy. And I said, well, that's a big difference between saying somebody looks like somebody and saying that is somebody. You're specifically identifying this guy. Mm-hmm. And I question the authenticity of that. And so that's where we left it. He says, listen, I didn't mean to say it. I misspoke. Mm-hmm. It got captured on camera, and then that's what was preserved and put into the documentary. Well, mm-hmm. Now, as we all know, the whole identification of Amir Muhammad is moot because the very source of that information was discredited. So there is no Amir. There's no Amir Muhammad. There's no Harry Billups that has any relevance in this case because the very source of that information has been voided.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Mike recanted, Wayman Anderson recanted. Wayman Anderson, you can actually look up the transcript from when he recanted years ago, which is what sparked the LA Times article about him recanting. You can read his entire transcript. It's online. It's been online for like 10 years. And he lays out exactly how that whole hoax was put together by some jailhouse snitches that were coordinating together, and it was kind of, you tell them this story, and then I'll tell them the same thing next week when I talk to them, and then they'll believe it. He copped to the whole thing, and then later on he tried to claim that he was coerced or pushed into recanting. But if you read his transcript, it's pretty clear, the specifics that he goes into that how the whole thing was perpetrated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Speaking of
being
selectively, go ahead, Greg.
You can't just selectively take information that works for you out of a clue, out of a statement. And when you look at Michael Robinson's jailhouse statement, he'd been in custody. He wasn't out when any of this happened, and he admitted. He goes, "Yeah, I don't know any of this. I'm hearing this stuff." Mm-hmm. And this Ashmir, Abraham, Kiki Kenny, Amir. He can't even get a name. Singled out. And then he says, yeah, this guy is a Compton Crip, Nation of Islam guy. Well, none of this stuff is consistent with who we know Harry Billups to be. Amir Muhammad, the one that's, whose name is prominent in this investigation, none of that information that Michael Robinson provides, it has any factual connection to Harry Billups. And so you can see how loose that all was and how it got completely carried away. Mm-hmm. And the man's name was dragged through the mud for years because of bad information and bad investigative work on behalf of Poole, at least in regards to that.
And unfortunately, it still is, which is why we're here.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I wanted to ask was, Gene Deal was pretty adamant about saying that the KFD confession was not accurate, that he was possibly coerced or tricked into saying what he said. I just wanted to get you guys' feedback on that, and if you would ever talk to Gene Deal about the KFD situation prior to this coming out the last few days ago? Because I do know from what you just said that you guys have had communication back and forth. So I was just curious about that aspect of what he said.
Well, first of all, him and I have never discussed it. We had a very brief conversation on the phone years and years ago. It's the only time I've ever spoken to him directly,
Okay.
and we only addressed that. We only addressed the selecting of Amir Muhammad in that documentary. That was it.
Okay.
So I've never talked to him about it. I'm happy to. I'm happy to talk to anybody about it. You guys know that.
Yeah.
But what's ridiculous is put this into context. Why am I going to do this to begin with? And how am I going to convince the United States Attorney, the FBI, the other LAPD guys in there, and more importantly, TCD and his attorney to go along with this big elaborate lie? And you really think it through. This wasn't just Greg and Keefe D in a closet somewhere, shaking hands and making deals. This was a large, structured, investigative effort involving a lot of people.
And from Unsolved, it looked like you were stressing over Biggie, not Tupac. But keep going.
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, when we sat down with TPD, the very first interview that we did was directly, we were trying to solve Biggie's case. That was our investigative responsibility.
Exactly.
And,
But people miss that. That's a big point in this whole thing. If Greg Kading is going to make somebody lie, if he's going to make TPD lie, he would be lying, telling him, "You lie, motherfucker, I need to solve Biggie's case," not TPD. I mean, not Tupac's case.
Right. And an equally important question is why? Like, why would I want TPD to lie about Tupac's case?
Yeah.
I mean, just come up with something. I mean, why?
Yeah.
What can I accomplish through that?
Yeah.
Because some would say that you would try to get somebody to lie about the Biggie one to clear the LAPD, but that has no relation to the Tupac murder. So I don't really see a motive to get.
So if I wanted to clear the LAPD, I would have had TPD lie about Biggie's and say that Orlando Anderson.
That's my whole. That's my whole argument.
And not to mention, he did say it a second time on national TV, but I don't know if you were twisting his arm on that one too. Apparently.
Oh yeah, I've got all the networks under my thumb. I've got everybody under my thumb. I'm the great puppet master that controls the universe as far as this goes. Evidently, I can convince everybody to go along with this scheme.
Yeah. Too many people in the too many people in the conspiracy for it to work. Yeah.
Come on. It's ridiculous. Okay. And again, what would be the motive possibly for me? What possible reason would I have to go through all that trouble to get TCD to provide false information about Tupac's murder? How does that serve any of our purposes?
Yeah, people got to remember that the LAPD cops were not being accused of being behind Tupac's murder. The LAPD was not being sued by Tupac's estate for that. It was all about Biggie. So it's one of the dumbest conspiracy claims I've ever heard in my life. Because it's just, if you think about it for more than 10 seconds, it doesn't hold up.
Which raises for me a question of either Eugene Deal's IQ or his integrity. Now, or both. One of those things.
I don't think. Let me say this. I don't think I don't think anybody in this equation is really lying. You know what? I really don't. I just think people have misunderstandings or
just listen. Eugene Deal, I can't use that as an excuse. He's a guy that comes from a background where he should know. He's a guy that comes from a background who should understand how police procedures are. He should understand these things. He's not a naive guy that's, alienated from this environment. He comes from this, to some degree, from this background. And so for him to be accusing me of coercing or causing somebody to lie about one of the most important murder investigations in American crime history, that's a huge allegation. And so I take offense to that. And so I'm going to fire back and say, what is your motive, Eugene? Because I can't believe you think I'm actually lying. Yeah. And if you do, then you're dumb as a fucking rock.
Okay.
Yeah, and Greg, are you forcing TPD to write this book that he's about to write as well?
Mm.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing that too. I've got him held hostage here in my house, and I'm.
People don't know, and I know this from in source, and I wasn't even communicating with Greg at the time. When the murder rap came out, number one, TPD's sister had a stroke, and number two, TPD wanted to kill Greg Kading. This is like, he was so upset that they got exposed to the point where he was really upset with Greg Kading. And so I'm saying that just to bring up, this is not like they were in this collusion to make this stuff up.
Mm.
You know, this is what happened. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, there's to some degree, I can appreciate where he's coming from. It wouldn't have changed what I did. I'm still going to put that shit out there because it needed to be put out there. But, you know, I understand why he might be upset. But, hey, you know what? That's the consequences of being a murderer.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to go out there and get a gun and drive up and kill somebody, there has to be consequences of that. And if getting outed is one of them, then so fucking be it.
Okay. Could you talk about the Muslim guy? My boy Ray Cash keep asking. I didn't even read it, but about the difference between the pictures with the guy with the Muslims, the peanut head, the guy. What Eugene's talking about on that situation?
Well, I really don't know. I mean, obviously, there's some surveillance video, very, very grainy, poor surveillance video around the Peterson that night. You can see some guys that are wearing the traditional attire of what the Fruit of Islam guys might be wearing, the bow ties, and of course we know that there was Nation of Islam guys there because they were interviewed, and they were doing security at several of the venues in and around all of this awards show. They were at two of the hotels actually where Biggie was staying, and of course we know that they had a little bit of a confrontation at the award show the night prior. So these guys were around. They were being used as security. You know as well as I do, Reggie, that many people like to use these guys as security forces.
We talked about them at the Soul Train Awards, you guys. Y'all remember I told y'all that they were at the Soul Train. It's a guy named Shaheed Muhammad. Not Shaheed. Well, I can't think of his name. Shaheed Muhammad.
Vernon Holmes.
Shaheed. Well, Shaheed. I was going to say Shaheed. That ran all the security at all the events in L.A. Shaheed ran things since the 70s, since the Magic Johnson and them days. But
so it's not unusual for these guys to be present, and I don't know exactly what the background was of the conflict the night before, but if you've already got that brewing kind of apprehension or hostility, then I can understand why Eugene might look over and cause that to raise some suspicion, especially, you know, after Biggie gets shot. He knows that these guys had a little beef the night before. So, I mean, it's natural for him to draw that conclusion. We know now that that wasn't the case, but it's understandable why he would have had that impression in his head. Then again, he sees another guy that's mad dogging him. He's not dressed like that. He's dressed more in the casual urban wear. And that guy raised, you know, some hairs on the back of Gene's neck. So, you know, he was out there trying to kind of, it had to be tense. It had to be hostile.
Let me ask you this. Why the second picture? And I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to get it while you're on that subject. What is he talking about when he said there was one picture and then you're supposed to bring another picture back and show it and you never did? Was this when you was active or was when you was retired that you and him talked about a second picture that he wanted to see?
I don't think Gene was talking about Greg I think he was talking about the original investigators back in the day who interviewed him as part of the investigation back in the 90s.
Now, and what crew would that been? Was that the black officer? I can't think of his name now.
It could have been Cooper. It could have been Katz. I mean, he was interviewed multiple times.
Okay.
By detectives. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then that's a big thing we need to clear up that wasn't Greg. We need to put that out there that wasn't Greg that he's speaking on that was showing the pictures. Now, my question will be, well, why didn't Greg ever take that picture to him, or did you even know about that, or had that guy had been excluded, or what? How did that go?
Well, I'm not sure which picture they're even referring to. Like I said, on the surveillance cameras, there's these grainy images that you can tell. There's no way you would be able to look at that and say, well, I know this person. There's not enough detail in the photo for anybody to look at it and say, well, I know who this is. It's too poor quality of photograph. So if he's talking about the surveillance videos from that night, they were shit.
Yeah, if you watch in Murder Rap, we showed just a few seconds of it, of the surveillance video. It was horrible quality. It was black and white, and they were far away. Nobody was, getting their face zoomed in on. You would just see crowds of people. It was really, really, really poor quality. I had to stabilize it just to make it watchable in Murder Rap. So I don't think it came from that. And the home video shot across the street wasn't great quality either. But they did catch the guy in the striped shirt. One of the guys, I don't think it was Deal, I think it was somebody else in the entourage, was showing the video and pointed the guy. There's a guy in the striped shirt you can see standing next by a Bentley. And the guy said that's the guy that was mad dogging him.
But he's making that identification not from a person's features. He's doing it because of the shirt that the guy had on.
Right.
Yeah, so, it's really grainy. You see.
He's got to learn to fucking work that shitty Android phone. I told you guys he should not go back to Android. He'll even admit himself.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying...
He's probably trying to call me. He always says, yeah, I didn't know what I had. But, okay, let me try him again.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to...
All right, I'm just going to give him a minute. Gutter Boy, Reggie already discussed that he's not gonna do that. If Gene decides he wants to call in to speak on something, then that's fine. But he's not gonna call him and do that because. All right, there we go. Okay, go ahead.
What the hell? Timmy Rule or Trayvon called you and told you to hang up on me or something?
No, your shitty Android phone decided to hang up on everybody.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get them. Well, they'll call back.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll call me right back.
Yeah, that Android.
All right, y'all keep saying call Eugene. Gene.
I tell him.
Gene is going to respond when he want to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make the man come on my show. I put it out, but like I said, in fairness to Mr. Deal, he's loyal to the 313 and real because that's that. If I'm lucky, we ever do a talk or something that's not on a big, it'll be more than likely on the 313 live show, unless myself, Greg, or Mike Dorsey piss him off to the 10 power tonight, and he calls in. But I wish I could get Eugene on. I would love to have Eugene and Greg and Mike on at the same time. And if I could make that happen, I would. But I'm not in that position. Let me see if they call back. They haven't called back yet.
Okay.
Hold on. I think Trayvon Lane called John and told him to get off, and he hung us up.
No.
But no, we're back on.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, are we on with is Greg back on?
Oh, no, I thought he was on your phone.
No, I had to hang up on him. Hold on, I'm going to add him.
All right.
I'm telling you, it's your shitty Android.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know, y'all keep saying Greg's a liar and crooked cops. I mean, y'all just like to say negative shit. If y'all
okay, we're all together.
Okay, if y'all want to be on there and be involved in this and interact, I mean, go ahead. If you think we crooked cops and liars, then why you tune in? You just got to be the funny man. You the class clown. Got to be the funny joke guy all the time. That just make you a little ass bitch. Make me think you a little 18, 19-year-old little kid that shouldn't even been on here because you're still in your daddy nuts when that happened. God damn, come on, y'all. Greg is on here taking his time, trying to give y'all something that his shit is working. Him and Mike Murder Rap done did what it's going to do. They done got a deal out of this unsolved and stuff. So they not just doing this for the money. This shit done sold and did what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So So, come on, y'all. They just here to help us understand the case better, and mainly to put people that just sit up and on their ass and create things, and the R.J. Bonds and all that, just sit and create things, just to tell y'all the truth. Y'all can believe what y'all want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm sorry.
it's okay. I mean, what the irony of it is these people that criticize and bitch and complain are also the same people that expect the case to be solved. Well, if you have this perspective and idea of the cops being like this, and this is what you believe is going on, you should never complain about the fact that the case is solved, because those very same people that you don't trust are the ones responsible for trying to solve it. So it's a catch-22 for that position. You're either going to have to accept that people are providing information, evaluate for yourself whether it's valid or not. But there's a complete contradiction in thought to think that, well, these cops are all fucking crooked or whatever. But damn it, why don't they ever solve the case? You don't get you don't get both sides of it.
Yeah, Chris Muniz, if you're here just to be funny, the funny guy, say one more thing and then you'll be checked out. Just keep it up, Chris. Just keep it up, bro. I'm sorry, Greg, but it just bothers me that people they just don't know how you and Mike taking your time out to really explain to a community like this is valuable, and then for them just to sit up here and ridicule us, it just ain't cool. It just ain't cool. I do it because I love the community, and I try to bring y'all good content, and I know 85% of y'all really, really 90% really appreciate it. But you love the 10% motherfuckers, and there's some bitch ass motherfuckers in there. Man. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. John, you say you need real pressing questions that you want to ask? Let me let them finish, and then we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we dealt with the.
We covered the three. Yeah.
Well, we were going to talk about Zip real quick.
Oh, yeah.
And this site. Hey, listen. The reality is, he was a well-known guy from the streets. He had a background, not necessarily a saint. He had a pretty long history as a target for the DEA and was involved in a lot of people that were involved in narcotics. We know, according to Keith VD, that they had a pretty ongoing, lucrative narcotic relationship. And, of course, these guys used that money to open legitimate businesses. And that's how it gets laundered. I mean, let's just look at Michael Harris. What was Michael Harris doing with all this money? He was opening nail salons and that type of thing, right? So the idea to say, well, this guy wouldn't rub elbows with the likes of Keith VD or do anything criminal, like give him a gun, like, give me a break. That's the very foundation of how you got to be where you are.
Right.
Had you ever heard of
from those?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, had you ever heard of, because he mentioned this, of Zip hanging out with Suge in L.A.? Have you ever heard any of that or seen anything like that?
I never have, no.
Yeah, and I told y'all the one time that Suge and I did bump into the Von Zip. That was in 2002, January 2002. We was out there finishing up the E1 deal. It was right before I left. We were at a club. Matter of fact, I remember Misa, Puppy Baby Mama's, for you guys in New York, y'all know who he is. He kind of was running that club. And he walked over to Suge and he would just say, hey, I'm Von Zip, and shook Suge's hand. Suge didn't even know who the hell he was until after he walked away. I said, hey, that's that guy Zip, Von Zip, that Chuck Phillips always talking about. That was cool with the South Side. That had the connection with the South Side. He said, oh, really? That's who that motherfucker was? And he went back to smoking and trying to smoke a cigar and trying to see what he can pull that night.
Look, Zip was a well-connected guy. He knew a lot of celebrities. He went to a lot of parties. I wouldn't be shocked if he went to a death row party. That doesn't mean he's loyal to them.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, he had a house out here. He had a girlfriend out here, Tanya. He had a car registering to him out here. He had a California driver's license under Equan Williams, a California driver's license under one of his aliases.
You're right there. He had a car, and he probably flew into L.A. and drove to Vegas with his car or his homies. Matter of fact, I heard an interview where, what's that girl name? The Hoe. Oh, I call her the Hoe. Faith. Because she married Stevie J, and I just don't like that when you marry your homeboys. But anyway, Faith, she did an interview where she did something about how Von Zip used to pick her up from the airport when she came to L.A., and Von picked her up in one of her cars or something like that. Do y'all remember that?
That was part of her police interview. She said that he had picked her up, and she noticed that they were being followed, and it turned out that it was some Southsiders that were behind them. And Zip had told her, don't sweat them; they're with us. So, so he was established in L.A. He had a driver's license out here. He had a girlfriend. He had a car. He had a pad. So he had his connections out here.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, this always gets asked, but I'll ask it anyway, Greg. It says Eugene Deal mentioned Puffy talking to Pac and Suge at the House of Blues. Sounds fishy to me. Did you ever hear of anything like this? Did you ever hear outside of the Soul Train Awards when there was the altercation out front in your investigation? Did you ever hear of them coming face to face with anybody, whether it be Puffy or Biggie or anybody from Bad Boy?
Yeah, I had heard that they were there at the same time. I didn't hear anything about them coming face to face or having any issues or any beef. Mm-hmm. But I did read statements that were consistent with them being there at the same time.
Okay, because I do remember. Go ahead.
As a matter of fact, I think that's when a gun. Reggie, that's the incident I think where a gun was taken into custody?
No, that was unless it was when we did the show July the 4th at the House of Blues on 4th of July. We did that on 4th of July at the House of Blues when Tupac performed. That's when that happened. I don't know. I can see us letting know. They controlled it. We didn't control who came in and out of the club, so so who knows who came in. Yeah. But yeah.
Because there is an interview with Method Man on YouTube where they ask him what it was like working with Tupac, and he was like, "I never did." He was like, he said the song that I did was for the Dog Pound album, but I do remember being at the House of Blues in L.A. and Puffy being there, and then there were a bunch of like Mary J. Blige and some other people were there. And that Tupac and Suge showed up.
Trust me, they wasn't there July the 4th.
No, it wasn't July the 4th. No.
All the way.
Yeah, it absolutely was not July the 4th. Yeah. Okay. Somebody says, Eugene Deal always says Pac and Biggie were supposed to go to a meeting that could have saved their lives. Any information about that? What he's talking about?
The only thing I can draw from that is that there was a story that when this stuff was really ramping up, that Puffy had reached out to an intermediary. He wanted somebody to get a hold of Suge and say, "Hey, listen, this is all getting out of control. We need to squash this, and Suge, and we basically need to sit down and talk it out." And Suge wasn't interested in that. I don't know if it's true, but that was the story.
If anybody that I say was processing or talking about doing that from the East Coast, it would have been a guy that they called. I remember he was a big light-skinned dude, and he had dreadlocks. I know he ended up going to jail like in '97, maybe '98 for some weed stuff. But his name was Big D. He had Suge ear out here, and I know he had a lot of respect on the East Coast. If anybody was going to do that, it would have been Big D, and through it with Eric B, because I think Eric B is the one that kind of brought Big D around, as I remember. But yeah, I think a guy named Big D was trying to make some stuff, be cool.
It's too bad it didn't happen, right?
Yeah,
for sure. But wait a minute, this shit. Hold on, no. This didn't happen. Tupac Shakur is not dead because of no East Coast West Coast war. That was accelerated to maybe make Keithy D get his ass in the car. But Baby Lane and Big Dre was going to ride on Tupac Shakur that night, and T-Bone and whoever was the other fourth person, or it might have been just three of them in the car. But they were going to ride that night Baby Lane got beat down. That's just L.A. Crip blood shit that went down.
Yeah.
Y'all could say man, they rolled on him because Baby Lane got beat down.
That's true in a microcosm, but I also believe that in a larger context, the beef that had been going on and getting out of control all played some part in it. I mean,
that accelerated Kiki to say, okay, I always say a 2 for 1. Like, okay, my nephew just got beat down, and these niggas got some money out for me. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of this right now. But,
and if there's any truth to the rumor that there was a bounty on the chains, of course, the chain incident led to everything.
Well, that led to the beat down. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. That led down to what made them spotted Baby Lane of all people out. So there was tons of Crips around. There was tons of dudes from Oakland. There was tons of dudes from Atlanta. Yeah.
So if there hadn't been a chain incident, there wouldn't have been a beatdown.
If it hadn't been the chain incident, yeah. So I guess you can take it back to Puffy, but yeah. But if wait a minute, let me just say that if it was a chain incident and Trayvon Lane would have and Trayvon would have just said it, and Pac wouldn't have went over there and jumped on him, they would say, hey, they go that nigga, and everybody would just they say, okay, we're gonna get him later or whatever. Then I don't think Southside would have still did anything that night.
Well, maybe to your point, though, if it had been Trayvon that ran over and instigated the beef,
it still would have been. It still would have been. We're gonna get these Bloods and Crips tonight. It was still when we're gonna get these Bloods tonight.
Right.
It could have been. Even if Tupac would have stayed back and Frank would have did his job, and I'm not gonna put that on Frank because Frank did a good job that night as far as getting him off of Tupac and getting them out of there. He did a great job that night as far as that. Getting them away from the location. The only thing out of the fight, yeah, and getting them out of the MGM. I wouldn't have known to get them motherfuckers out of the MGM the way they did. He got them over the bridge and got them over to the Luxor and all that. He did a good job on that. Now, where he messed up at was he didn't call and let me know what was going on, even though I probably wouldn't have done anything. I'll be honest. If he would have told me, hey man, they just jumped some Crips, I'd been like, oh okay. Who's all with y'all? I wouldn't have left the club to go check on. I know I wouldn't have. I probably wished I would have had the foresight to do that, but I wouldn't have. I would have been like, once they told me there's 10 or 15 of the homies from the neighborhood in the entourage with them, that's good enough for me. Fuck all of that. Where's Kevin Hackey at? Where's Michael Moore at? Man, fuck those niggas. They wouldn't have done nothing that those homies wouldn't have done in that situation. My boys was for in the club, not being drinking and all of that. Because trust me, that night, Trayvon, Buntree, all of them was going to be high, drunk, and trying to pull a female that night. They weren't going to be worrying about Suge, Tupac, Danny Boy, nobody that night. They were going to be worried about self. That was the security job, just to stay sober and make sure they cool while they're inside the club.
Well, that's one of the things that kind of, one of the things that I question or I raise issue with, both with Frank and Eugene. They were bodyguards and they had their role to play in all of that. And unfortunately, what happened. And maybe from their perspectives, it was unavoidable. But, to come and start to criticize all of the efforts of other people that are working really hard and worked really hard to try to solve the case and create these conspiracy theories, it just undermines it just undermines their credibility.
Yeah.
It really does. Frank really undermined his credibility. If he had just been humble and sucked it up and said, man, it was a fucked up situation, we lost. But then to go on and start creating all this nonsense.
That's when dollars and cents get involved. And that's when you even did it. You did it when with the Unsolved, when they had you make me look like an informant and all of that shit at the time. So you did this shit. Well, that's all that happened with Frank on that.
The corrupt
yeah,
money.
Yeah, you know, just telling the story. When the executive producer or the writers there saying, "This is how it went down," and you say, "Okay, yeah, Mr. RJ, yeah, Mr. Antoine, or whoever was your director." That's what happened. Yeah.
RJ.
Is that what you think happened, Rich?
That's what happened. You know, that's what happened. You know, y'all came and sit in my house, and I said, "Oh yeah, right then and there." This is what happened. No, you told when you came to my house, you was like, "Nigga, you better get a motherfucking attorney, and we need to holler at you, and we're gonna talk at you at a later date." That's all that was said in my house.
That is true.
They can't do 3 or 4 scenes to get across, but they can get across in one scene.
Well, it looked like as soon as they came to my house, I'm sitting down there. Hey,
But that's just time compression in Hollywood.
But that's my point. That's my point to what happened to Frank in response to that. The money, just you know, yeah.
Hey, Greg,
Mm-hmm.
we asked earlier if you guys would have gone after T. Brown eventually. You know, if you kept investigating, what would have happened with that?
Absolutely. Well, for me, that would have been priority number one. You know, after I left the task force, my main thing was like, hey, you got to put the screws to T. Brown. Do the same thing. We knew he was out there. He was sick. Yeah. We knew he was doing robberies. We knew he was peddling dope. We knew he was sick. He was really vulnerable to be pressed up on. And you know, LAPD was like, hey, we've already been told to hand this all back to Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas is in a position from a state away to go and stake out T. Brown in Compton and try to wait for an opportunity to get something on him. So the whole thing, it was fucking ridiculous. You know, the whole thing just fell apart, and there should have been some collaboration and some interagency cooperation to get T. Brown.
Yeah, I agree with
absolutely.
That. And I thought they were watching him because I heard he was homeless or living under a bridge or was robbing homeless people or something. And y'all was taking him out, trying to follow him on that?
Nah, man.
No,
not that I know of. Because he would have been easy enough. You know, it wouldn't have taken a whole lot of effort. Nothing like what we did with Keefe. It wouldn't have taken that amount of time and energy. You know, T. Brown was more of just a corner dealer.
All right. Could you explain to them in your investigation? I didn't explain it 1,000 times, but they don't. That two people, and I don't want to say that. Well, one dead, so I'll say Buntry. I'll say chased down, chased down there, and he had a bullet hole in his car. Did you find out anything like that in your investigation, or did Keefe tell you that they kind of got shot at or followed or anything like that after the...
Keefe said that as they were fleeing the scene, they felt that they were being chased. He thought it was the girls that had just kind of gotten run off the road. He thought that was them, but Orlando then started cranking around back behind them.
Correct.
And so that takes place. So we know that it wasn't the girls because we talked to everybody in that car.
And I know Buntry car had a bullet hole in it.
And Buntry's car had a bullet hole in it.
And the girls themselves backed up that story and said bullets were going back and forth, and they pulled off the road to get out of the crossfire.
And there was a van that was across the intersection that took a bullet through the window. And from that trajectory, it wasn't the same volley of bullets that came out of the gun when they shot Tupac. It was a separate shooting, which, you know, laid down some fire and hit these other vehicles.
Okay. Our other favorite YouTuber said something about there's no wonder the case isn't solved because I think he wanted, I don't know if he said to you specifically, Greg, but he said LAPD made a conscious decision not to give all the information to Las Vegas during the investigation. Is that accurate, or is that something that was made up?
Well, that was accurate at a time when we were using Keefe D to our...
Reggie's phone is not good.
Hang on, Johnny, your phone is tripping.
Don't even try to say it's mine. It's your shit. Because if it wasn't mine, you would still have them on the phone.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Because since theirs drops too, this is the connection that's connecting me and them. So if yours is my phone, they'd still be on yours.
We're back on.
Okay.
Okay, we're all back.
Sorry
together.
about that.
Sorry, we lost
Okay.
you.
Yeah, the question was about the withholding information. You started to say that it was true at a time, and then we lost you.
Oh, okay. So there was a point in time right after we got KPD's cooperation, and we decided we were going to use him to further the investigation in regards to New York. We were going to go out there and try to get some information on Zip. We're going to go out there and try to get some incriminating information on Puffy. We're going to use KPD as an informant. And so we kept that in-house. We kept that amongst ourselves because we didn't want there to be some leak which would interfere with that plan.
Right.
So we didn't tell Vegas about that right away. But once the LAPD, after we got the information on Biggie's case, and the LAPD said, hey, we're done with the Biggie case, give everything that you guys have accomplished so far over to Las Vegas. We called Vegas. We said, hey, by the way, we flipped Keefe D. He gave up the goods on Tupac's murder, and this is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas came flying out here. I mean, they were literally here like the next day with handcuffs. Like, where is he? They're like, whoa, hold on. I don't think you understand what happened. We flipped him, but it was under a proper agreement. You can't arrest him. Well, you can, but you're not going to be able to prosecute him based on his own confession.
Right.
And why is that, Greg? Why not? Oh, because it was. Why not? Well, not based on the confession. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yep.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So
And the reason why I was saying why not, because it was a federal versus a state case, but I got you. Can't use that because it was still done under a proper deal. Okay.
Right. Yep. So Vegas obviously was really disappointed because it's bittersweet for them. They have a confession in this unsolved murder case, but they can't arrest the guy.
Right.
It doesn't mean he can't be prosecuted if they get other evidence outside of his confession. They can use that against him, and they should have.
Yeah.
And that's why you go get T. Brown. And that's why you continue to try to get Zip. And and that's where they just didn't put the effort into it.
Yeah.
D Money, you just like typing. You done asked us 10 times. I done told you Buntry and he's dead. So stop asking the question. You done asked that damn question 10 times, D Money.
Yeah.
It's Buntry. He's dead. All right.
Let me ask you, Reggie and Greg, this question. It was something Eugene Deal said. He said that he witnessed DJ Quick calling somebody after Biggie got shot, and he kind of quoted them saying, "They got him. They got those bad boy guys like they said they would." Does that sound like anything that could have happened, or any thoughts on that?
I said that 6 o'clock a.m. in the morning when I heard he got killed. Like, why the fuck he out here? He knew he was going to get killed. That was the first thing. Snoop called me, woke me up, saying, hey, where's my security? I'm next. Yeah, man. Everybody thought that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say that statement was made, and we don't know if it was or not. We interviewed DJ Quick. Law enforcement interviewed him. He gave a very extensive statement and answered all the questions and provided a lot of personal information about what he saw that night. But of course he denied that he'd ever said anything like that. But let's just say he did. What does that really mean? So what? He's just making a statement of it's obvious, like, well, that dude shouldn't have been out here.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Greg, for all of these wackos, I think they're the craziest people alive now that believe that Tupac is alive. Have you ever personally saw an autopsy photo?
I saw several of them. Obviously, everybody's seen Kathy Scott's, which is it's not an autopsy photo in the sense that it wasn't taken. It's a photo of somebody who was working at the morgue who took the photograph and gave it to Kathy. So it's an autopsy photo in the sense that his body has just been autopsied and examined. But it wasn't the autopsy photos that you sit and take during the examination.
Yeah, it wasn't from evidence. Yeah.
Okay, but did you see the ones with him on a steel plate versus the one that Kathy put out?
I saw several. I saw just close up of the bullet wounds. I mean, that's Tupac. I mean, if Kathy's photograph doesn't convince you, nothing will, because that's a legitimate photograph of a corpse, and that's Tupac laying there.
Yeah. Oh, I believe my father and Brennan and Lad both said they saw it when they came down to interview him as well, that they saw the autopsy photo as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember, Vegas shared all of their files with us.
Yeah.
During the early part of the investigation, and so when they shared all that, it got retained into the investigative files that we had when we started investigating Biggie.
All right. I talked to Taneet today, and it's always interesting talking to Taneet. But he's with the Brotherhood, so he's my boy now. But he said something interesting to me. He said that Vegas recently came out, and I looked all over to see where he's getting this from, and I know he's going to report on it the next day or two, and I just going to hate to hear it. He said that Vegas came out recently saying that it was an automatic weapon that killed Tupac Shakur, not a handgun. Have anyone, not just you three on the phone, have anyone heard that report? Has anyone heard that report?
I mean, it goes against literally every single witness
Yeah.
that saw the shooting.
Never heard that.
I mean, the one thing that the people in Frank's car saw was the gun. It wasn't a fully automatic gun. It wasn't a MAC-10 or anything like that. It was a handgun.
Yeah.
And all the casings
Not only that,
were Glock casings,
based on nothing.
right?
And so he's going to follow up. Let me even tell you what more he's going to follow up with. And like I said, I'm not doubting that he done heard this from somewhere. But this is his story. He said that he also heard that the reason why, or he believed that LAPD has the gun in their custody and they won't release it to Vegas. And I said, well, that's easy for Vegas. The only thing they do is get a subpoena, a court order, and they have to release the gun.
Again, but then nobody asked the most simple question. Why? Why would LAPD give a fuck about keeping Tupac Shakur's gun?
Well, because this is his answer. Great question, Gregory. Because LAPD's involved.
Oh, okay. So we killed Tupac also?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Somebody's guard dog is going off right now.
That's Greg, big old dog. Is that Greg? That's your big old dog.
Yeah, he's barking at something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why? What possible motive?
You better make sure that ain't. You better make sure that's not.
Make sure it's not Eugene Deal, huh?
Yeah. Or Keepy. That cancer that kicked in on Keepy D, and he's ready to go. Because when that cancer kick in, when the doctor tells you only got a week to live, he's coming to get your ass, Greg.
Yeah, Keefe can come over anytime he wants.
Well, on the Keefe thing, and Greg, I think, has talked about this before, but Greg and Keefe met before the book came out, or when the book came out. So Keefe wasn't surprised when this first came out.
Oh, he absolutely knew. I sat down with him, and right in front of his house, we sat in my truck, and I gave him a heads up, and I'm going public with this. I wrote a book, and he's like, "That's fucked up." Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to get you hurt, and I'm just letting you know that I think that the world's interests are matter more than your interests. It's basically what I said. I said, I'm not trying to get you.
And your whole thing, and you came to me about it, about the person that I was talking with you about. And you was just like, I feel, and you kept telling me, Reggie, you need to get this person to just apologize to Miss Wallace, because I feel that this needs to be done for Miss Wallace. That's what you kept telling me. You said, I'm doing this for Miss Wallace. She needs to know or get some closure. And in fairness to you, before all of this happened, before I gave a hoot about a YouTube or anything that's going on, I do say, and before his book came out, Greg did come to me and say, Reggie, this is why you need to do this, why you need to convince this person to do this or do that, is because Miss Wallace. And you even said, I won't do it And I won't even talk about it if this person will come and just apologize to Ms. Wallace. I remember you telling me that as well.
And that's right. And that's all Mrs. Wallace asked for. You know, I had a conversation with her about it more than once, actually. And she said, you know, if this person will come and extend their hand of forgiveness and ask me for forgiveness and take responsibility in front of me for what she's done, I will forgive her. That's how large of a person Miss Wallace is.
Yeah.
That she said, if that person will step up and take responsibility and apologize to me, I will forgive her.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's, unfortunately, that didn't happen, but it should have.
Yeah.
Don Illuminati asked a good question. He said, was there an informant who verified Keefe's story about Zip in Vegas? Yeah, there was an informant that went to an agent in New York and said the whole bit that's in Murder Rap about Zip allegedly saying that they had artillery out there when they were all convening there in the MGM after Orlando got beat up.
Yeah, and I think that we put that out in Murder Rap. You know, there was a federal informant who happened to run in the same circles as Zip, and the other guys from New York who happened to be out there in that crew. And he got back to New York. He says, here's what I heard. This is what I saw. And so New York, of course, contacted Las Vegas PD and said, we got a confirmation here that this Zip guy and this KPD guy were talking about retaliating after the beatdown of Orlando Anderson.
Yes.
And then, recently Corey Edwards went public on television and confirmed the side of the story that they all convened and, you know, Orlando Anderson wanted to go get payback and Corey was like, well, let's just wait till we get back to LA. And he says Orlando told him, would you want to wait if it was you? And then they left and went to do what they did. And the next thing he knew, Tupac was dead. I don't know how many more corroborating witnesses people need to hear from on both sides of this before they're like, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, could you explain to people, and somebody I respect, Heidi, they keep asking us, could you just please explain to people why Puffy and KPD hasn't been arrested on the Tupac Shakur shooting? Right.
Yeah, it's relatively simple. The information we know about the actual evidential information that we have about Tupac's murder comes from KPD. It's corroborated in a number of ways. The convictions off circumstantial and corroborative evidence, you need that tangible testimonial evidence. And so KPD cannot be held accountable for his own confession because of the deal that was made. This is how we got his cooperation, was to tell him that what he has to say can't be used against him, won't be used against him. And, for all intent and purposes, it's like pleading the fifth.
John, would you paint a picture of the car, the BMW, so they can see how that shooting pattern was? Yeah. For those that believe that that Shiv was the target and not the person sitting in the passenger seat as well.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, I know Kenneth has asked this question a couple times. He wants to know to repeat what G Money had said about the two police sketches composite sketches that he did of the so-called suspect. How that came about was basically G Money was the driver of Big's vehicle and Lil Cease was sitting in the rear passenger side. So they were the two people in Big's car that had the best angle on the shooter when the shooting happened. And both of them said that when the shooting started, they ducked. And as soon as, by the time they looked back up, the Impala was speeding away and going around the corner. And they said that the guy was kind of sitting down low and couldn't really see all of them. G Money even said that if you showed him a picture of the guy, he still wouldn't be able to say, okay, yeah, that's who I saw. And that's why, there's actually two police composite sketches, and they really don't look anything like each other. And this is all in Murder Rap, but, Cooper, Detective Kelly Cooper said, it's problematic in court because the defense attorney point out, well, there's two different police sketches and they look alike. So how do you say that it's my client?
Yeah,
and people are really not very useful sketches.
Yeah, they're not. And a police sketch is not evidence. A police sketch is an investigative tool. That's all it is. A sketch isn't a person. It's just an impression of something or an impression of someone. But it's not evidence. no real value in it other than being used as a tool so that you get a basic idea of what a perpetrator might look like. That's it. And so G-Money, like Mike just said, he looked over and he said, man, all I saw was an immediate glimpse, but the main thing I saw was the barrel of a gun, and I ducked. And so what was behind that gun was obviously a face, but I can't describe it to you. I'll do my best, and this is what we come up with. And so that's actually why I think they had G-Money and Little Teeth doing the composite together, which is very unusual. That you have two people providing two to make one picture.
Right.
So the whole thing was just of very little value from an investigative standpoint, anyways. Going back to Tupac, though, are you guys still there?
Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
there.
we're here.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify because something came up earlier about T. Brown and Gaddafi, and I want to make sure that people understand that Gaddafi never ever said he saw the shooter.
Okay.
That was not his statement.
Yeah.
He said he saw the driver.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he could possibly ID the driver again. And they said, well, what did he look like? And he said he had a face like a bitch. That's it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say he had a big nose or bulging eyes. He just
Because
said he
they
had a face
always
like a
where the people say, oh, a big dark arm came out of the window. I hear that so much, and I'd be
That's
like,
from Frank.
yeah, that's right. Okay.
That's Frank.
Yeah, all they saw of the shooter was the arm coming out, which to me lends back up to, support to Keefe's claim that Orlando reached over DeAndre Smith and shot out the window. So his whole, his face and everything were obscured. The only thing that came out the window was, his forearm and the gun. That's all anybody in the car saw, other than seeing.
So clearly, what happened from the position that Gaddafi was sitting in the car next to Frank, in the car behind Tupac, as the white Cadillac rolled by, he must have looked over and he saw T. Brown. He saw T. Brown's face. The car continues forward, and an arm comes out, and that's what Frank sees, is an arm coming out. Mm-hmm. But at this point in time, the image that Gaddafi's seen is already gone, right? Because he wasn't watching it, the face during the shooting. He sees it just before, as the car is creeping by. And more importantly, when Gaddafi is asked to go look at photographs, including Orlando Anderson's, he says, I've been told not to cooperate any further. I'm sorry. I'm not going to come in and look at any pictures.
Mm. Okay.
And let me just add on this. I later brought Gaddafi down to the police station. Him and I think it was Edie. To be interviewed by the Vegas police. And they were going to cooperate at that time. But they would either get an option, do something about it, or cooperate. And so they were going to cooperate. The Vegas police would not show them. They then picked an argument with Gaddafi and them, and would not show them the six-pack. And if y'all don't believe that, y'all can read the article that was written by Chuck Phillips during that time. Y'all can somehow find it and put it.
Yeah, well, I would question whether Chuck Phillips, his source, may have actually been them. I don't know. I'm not questioning the integrity of it. I'm just saying that in the investigative files, those guys told the investigators that was it Chesnoff or was it Kenner? Is it Chesnoff or Kenner?
That was then. That was when they were in Vegas. It was probably one of them. I don't know. But we set up an interview later where we went down to Compton police station, and I took them to the police station when they were in for Sugar's probation violation, and they were going to cooperate there.
Oh, okay.
They were going to identify him.
They wanted to, right?
They were going to
identify Orlando.
That's all I'm going to say. Yep.
So they, at that point in time, they knew it was Orlando.
Then. They knew. We all do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there it is.
They want to identify them. People don't believe that, but why would they come down? I think I asked Edie about it on the show. I don't remember what Edie said. But they were going to identify them. And if y'all can read between the lines, y'all hear what I'm saying.
Of course. Yeah. So, yep. Well.
Yep.
Tragic.
Yeah. Yep. So,
yep.
Just
so
talk on the
we solved it.
Yeah. It's solved. People get mad.
I'm saying is we solved the question. Please do interviews, and more often than not, they don't tell you about them. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad. And Equan Williams, Eric Martin, Zip, whatever you want to call him, he obviously has, he's rubbing shoulders with some pretty nefarious people, whether it's in New York or here on the West Coast. He was established out here, and it's not unusual at all for in that environment. Somebody gets beat down, and they offered help. Keefe says we don't need help. It says we have artillery out here. Okay, I'll take that from you. So
let me say this: if Eugene pissed you off enough, so he's gonna respond. He already told me to let you guys know that he's gonna respond to your 10 question. I guess was it 10 questions you wrote? I don't even know, Michael, because it was too fucking long.
It was 11. I addressed all of his points.
Yeah.
Okay, he said all 10. Well, he said he's gonna respond to your 10. He said 10, so I'll tell him it's 11. So if they piss you off enough.
I'm sure it will be super fascinating and not a total waste of everybody's fucking time.
Oh no! I didn't mean it like that at all. But my point would be, if y'all decide to release the interview, y'all know y'all have a platform on Bomb First to release that interview, and we will gladly post it for you.
Yeah.
If Bomb First won't do it, if he won't do it, what's the name of my channel, John?
The Raw Uncut.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll post it for you.
Well, what's fascinating about it, to me anyways, in Eugene's interview, and, he was doing everything he could, with the information that he had. He didn't have a lot, He saw some things that he thought were suspicious. He drew some conclusions, and that's what we had to work with. Mm-hmm. But he didn't have any knowledge of anything that was of tremendous value. It's just kind of speculation. But he did say, listen, we knew after Tupac got hit, it was coming. I mean, it was almost what he verbatim. He says, we knew after that they were going to come for us. So there it is, If that isn't corroborating, exactly what we've been saying, what the hell does he mean? Who's coming?
Yeah.
Hey, John, so you have the picture of the BMW. That is not Greg Kading standing by the car, y'all. That's this guy named D that painted all our cars and the tow truck driver. He has an auto body shop in Bellflower. His name is D. D at Auto Bodies. He's the one paints all shit cars and all that. But anyway, crazy white boy, good dude. But anyway, D. I'm showing y'all that shooting pattern of the car, because everybody always said, Tupac was I think something that said that Tupac was a victim. I think that was RJ's latest thing. He was a victim of
circumstances
of trying to get shot or so casual. I forget the word they use, but anyway, collateral damage. Tupac was collateral damage. Look at that door patterning on that shooting. Did that look like they were shooting at the driver and not the passenger?
Yeah, but there's some nuts out there that say that it wasn't even Tupac in the car. It was a fucking body double or something crazy like that. So I've heard it all now. At this point, man.
Yeah. So
weirdos.
That's why we just put up the picture, y'all. Y'all probably don't see it of the BMW when it was shot up. I got some more pictures. Yeah. So,
relatively popular picture.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just disappointing, I think he should think long and hard about what he's saying and what he's promoting, and do a little soul searching, because doing this just for the attention or just to get clicks or just to stay relevant in story, you're just undermining your own integrity.
And I don't really think that's what he's trying to do. I really believe that they believe the Muslim guys had something to do with it. That whoever was in that bow tie, and I really believe that he think Keefe was lying because. Let me ask y'all this: did Keefe ever say that he never saw or met with Puffy after Tupac got killed? Is there any statements like that anywhere from Keefe D? Or did he tell you because
he told us in his interview, he said, well, what happened? He said he got back to LA, he talked to Puffy on the phone. Okay. And Puffy asked him, shit, was that us? Puffy obviously hears about Tupac getting shot in Vegas. And so he's and Keefe D's actually with Zip at this point in time back here in LA at the Wingstop in LA. And phone rings. Puffy says, was that us? Keefe D says, yeah. And I think, who else got on the phone, Mike? Just two of them?
It was just them, and then later Faith called, but I think Faith didn't know anything. She was just calling to try and, just like everybody else was, I think she was just trying to find out what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and she would obviously call Zip because he was a guy in the know, and she was close with him. And, but yeah, that's it. They talked, and then obviously everyone's trying to figure out what's going to happen, what the cops are going to do, and who's going to get ID'd, and go commit a murder with somebody or conspire to commit a murder with somebody. The best thing to do is stay away from that person.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just say what, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn on Eugene's point of view, is he has 3 different occasions where he's saying since then that that they were with Keefe D. That Puffy met with Keefe D. Is what his claim is. What he's claiming now. Okay. Which has nothing to do with your investigation, not this. So what he's just saying, Keefe D is a liar. Not this is where he said Keefe is a liar. He know of 3 different incidents since Pac got killed that they were around.
Good. Have him post the dates, and then I'll probably be able to show you that Keefe D was in jail at the time.
Okay.
So, again, this is a situation where I think you just drum up information to create suspicion, create controversy, and try to reinforce these speculations that you have. But it's not helpful to the community that actually wants to know what's going on. If you have factual information, bring it forward. But to continue to just throw innuendo and speculation and opinion into it doesn't do anything but continue to muddy up the waters. And if you really care about the history of these cases and what happened, honor that. Bring facts and knowledge. Nothing else.
Okay. Anything else that you think we need to clear up, Mike? Because I know it's going to be a big response to this Q&A.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm completely done with Eugene Deal. Fuck his response. I really don't give a shit if he responds. I don't respond to RJ and J-Mix anymore for the same reason. If he wants to go be aligned with crackpots and what Greg calls the conspiracy clown club, then it's a waste of my time to even deal with him anymore. He made his charges. I responded point by point to him. And I have the rest of my life to live. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with Eugene Deal. And, if he wants to come after us even harder, maybe we can go over all the freaking security lapses that happened the night that Big died. That's what he should be talking about, because that's what he actually knows about. What happened to Biggie and the breakdown that led to Big being killed that night.
And on that point of view, I mean, there's nothing that can be done. I said on my defense of Frank and everybody, if somebody's going to decide to do a drive-by and shoot up a car, I don't think there's anything that could have stopped it from getting. I think he could be a better witness and could have got a better description of the car and all of that. Mm-hmm. But just like when Pac got killed, I don't think it was anything that anybody in that entourage could have did. If they wasn't planning on the boxing in and all of that, we know stuff like that now. I bet you they still don't do it. I bet you 6ix9ine and all these who's ever drinking them still don't roll. They just probably ride around in in some type of van or something like that. Still to this day, they may have some bulletproof stuff out here and there, but they're not riding around like that. Especially in Vegas. When they go to Vegas, they ride in Ferraris and stuff like that. And that's just how they are. That's just how young men are. 20 to 30-year-olds. That's just the life we in, and that's just how we live. When we was 20 or 30 years old and had rich and had money, and ride Ferraris and Testarossas and stuff like that. You're not riding around in no bulletproof cars and stuff like that. Still to this day.
And we can look at it in hindsight and be objective about it. And,
I bet you Master P didn't ride in a bulletproof car every day, TJ Master.
Probably doesn't. But the argument can be made that considering the environment that was taking place at the time and all the hostility and a fight just took place and the people have been getting killed, I just don't know that it's a good idea to put somebody in an exposed position. And I'm not criticizing. These were the times. Oh, I mean, it wasn't all thought through. But to put
if I would have told, if after that happened, and I would have went up to Pop and said, "Hey, Pop, we need to put you in the middle seat, in the back seat of this car, and I need Michael Moore to sit in this side of the car, and I need to have Frank sitting on this side of the car. You sit in the middle in the bitch spot, the spot where nobody liked to ride. I forget what they call it, but it's in the middle of the car, and we're gonna ride to this club looking like this." He would have laughed at me. He would have said, "Get the fuck out of here, Rich." Would have been the exact words to me.
Well, then I guess with that said, then the security can only be as good as the client's going to allow it to be.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, then that's the case.
It's like Pac not putting his vest on.
Same thing. He wouldn't have did that. It was hot out there. It was over 100 degrees out there. Going to a nightclub with a vest on. He had a tank top.
We certainly aren't here to even cast judgment on that, because I think that the burden that guys like Eugene Deal and Frank probably carry, it was probably a hard thing to deal with, is the fact that, wow, this guy died on my watch. He died under my charge. Is there anything I could have done to prevent it? Probably not, but you still probably don't feel great. Yeah,
you can money back quarterback. Pete Carroll, wish he would have. Pete Carroll wish he would have gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch. You can always second guess yourself.
The person though that was in that position of responsibility, I think, probably carries quite a burden, and I wouldn't want to carry it.
Yeah.
That's it's tough. So we're not criticizing, but those are the things that Gene can talk about, and he's knowledgeable about that. But to come off and start making accusations about people who are just here to help and to educate people.
And to make the completely baseless. It's one thing if you think that Keefe D lied about some things, that's one thing. But to make the completely baseless accusation that detectives like Greg told him to lie, which how would Gene Deal have any idea what happened when it comes to that? It's a completely made up accusation.
Yeah. And
to me, I think it's a dick move to do that. If you think that Keefe D made some shit up, okay. But to say that Greg, made him do it.
I don't
without any evidence of it. That's the dick move.
Because if Greg will make anybody do something, if
Biggie murder.
Exactly. If any of that part of the stress that he was under by his commanders and chiefs, if any of that shit was true, the pressure he was under and unsolved, if 50% of that was true to how the stress he appeared to be under, he would have been like, "Hey, we're talking about Biggie and Biggie only. I don't even want to hear about the Tupac Shakur stuff." Yeah. But somebody keep asking why was Suge wearing a sweater. Number one, Coogee sweaters back then was that was probably a $500 shirt that Suge had on. Coogee's was the hottest shit out there. Most of the time, Suge had on Coogee when he was wearing something like that. It was a short sleeve Coogee shirt. Probably just came out, and that's what he chose to wear. What he planned to wear to the club that night. It was a short sleeve shirt. He probably didn't have a t-shirt up under it. So it wasn't a sweater. It wasn't a sweater like that. It was a short sleeve $500 Coogee shirt that was new and that was out. That was the shit then. Coogie's was the shit there. Yeah. But it was hot. Vegas is always hot like that.
Well, I don't even understand what the value of the question
because I always say, Pac had a tank top on, which he probably was going to be performing that night and all of that, and Suge had on a short sleeve sweater, and I keep saying, and they want to know why he didn't have a bulletproof vest on. Number one, Pac didn't wear a bulletproof vest like y'all think. Y'all probably could came up with one or two pictures where y'all done showed me where Pac had a bulletproof vest on. All those pictures he take, I probably seen one or two, and that's when he usually had that fatigue stuff on. Mm-hmm. So y'all want to make it like Pac wore bulletproof vest every day? Yeah. No, that was hype.
A lot of those were right when he got out too, like the Luke interview in Vegas. It was even before he had his chain.
Interviews. Okay. Yeah.
And you know as well as I do, Reggie, that especially back at those times, most vests covered.
Okay, looking for the truth. How much was a Coogee sweater back then? Coogee fucking sweaters are still $500 right now. It wasn't no $200. Everybody would have had them. You go to men's land. Yeah, most people didn't even have no Coogee shirts. You had to go to places like Men's Lands or Perus or something like that to get Coogees then. Most you couldn't walk into Nordstrom's or Macy's or anything and buy no Coogee sweaters. So get the fuck out of here. You probably never bought a Coogee sweater in your life.
Kenneth asked a question I think is a good one we haven't touched on yet, and that was Gene when he was talking about the suspicious guy in the bow tie and the suit walking away. He added a new detail to it in his latest video. He said something along the lines of where he got into the car where the killer was. In all of Gene's interviews, earlier ones that he did with the police, I don't think he ever said anything about sitting there and watching the guy walk all the way down the block and getting into a car. He just said the guy started walking toward Wilshire. Yeah. So I don't know why it seems like there's some embellishment being added to make it seem more, nefarious that this guy actually got into a vehicle there, because that, would almost remove most doubt about, what happened. But he said as soon as the guy started to walk away, he got distracted by, other things that were going on. The guy was no longer a threat. He didn't stand there and watch the guy walk hundreds of feet down the block and get into a car. No, that didn't happen.
Yeah. And again, let's give him that. Let's just say some guy looks like a Nation of Islam guy gets in a car and then he believes that's the shooter. Okay, believe that. So you don't believe that Poochie had anything to do with it, and that this girl's confessing and making all this stuff up? Okay, fine. But then where do you go with that? You still just have an unsolved murder. It's certainly never going to get attached back to David Mack, right? Because there is no David Mack if there's no Amir Muhammad. And we know there's no Amir Muhammad. So therefore...
That's one of the funniest things about this whole thing, too, is the claim that basically that Amir Muhammad was the shooter, but that he was in David Mack's Impala. Because David Mack had a black Impala. Why the hell would you tell somebody else to go and do a shooting and then say, oh, but use my car? What's the point of having somebody else go and do something if they're going to use your personal vehicle to do it with?
See, that's I think that a lot of people just don't take the time.
And that theory is full of logic traps like that, where it's just one brick wall after another, where it just doesn't make any sense.
I think the majority of people, thankfully, listen and think things through and connect the dots. And I think the truth is so simple that it resonates with most people. I think the majority of people can see the obvious equation here. Yeah. Tupac gets shot, people would retaliate, and we have people that confess to that, and ultimately just some street shit, right? Just pretty simple.
The Tupac stuff and then the Biggie stuff was a little bit more complicated, I think, but it was retaliation for Tupac still.
But all these grand conspiracy things with everybody involved and covering it up and going to all these great extents, like, It continuously fails, and I have to wonder sometimes.
And we talked around it a bit just so people can understand. And this is you and Michael both can lay out what's your belief on the two shootings and the suspect, and so nobody can be misunderstood or anything. Poochie was killed by some bloods from Compton, some Pyrus from Compton. Whoever keep asking that, not no Crips. So if you can just talk on who you believe are the suspects in the two murders.
Clearly Orlando Anderson shot and killed Tupac. He did it, because Tupac had been involved in that.
Put a percentage on that versus a percentage of maybe Big Dre being the shooter, which is 2% at most to me. And that's only because of the seating in the car. But I just can't see. I think
that's fair. I think that's fair, Reggie.
Okay. And that's fair. 98-2, whatever. But I'm 100%. If I'm Orlando Anderson, I'm the guy that needs to do that.
Well,
if I'm Orlando.
I think it's all about car seatings. I really think it's behind positioning. I really believe if we believe everything we believe any of what Keefe said, then we got to believe everything that Keefe said as far as what happened in the car. When he says Big Dre pretty much bitched out. Mm-hmm. Right. Like, I don't want to do it. I ain't gonna do it. That's bitched out. Because it's usually about who's setting, where you setting that in the car.
Yeah. Right. The other thing is, by the time Keefe confessed, both the guys in the back seat were dead. And so, who is
why not?
More problematic for him, from a personal standpoint, to rat on if he's going to say who the shooter was? It seems like it'd be better for him personally to say it was DeAndre Smith and not name one of his own family members and have to deal with the fallout from that eventually someday if that ever comes out. So I don't think he would have put it on Orlando if Orlando wasn't the shooter.
No.
I don't either. I just have to throw the percentage out just because of the seating.
Always, DeAndre Smith did, try to take credit for it afterwards. And I know at least one of the old Pyrus from back then, to this day still thinks it's DeAndre Smith because he heard that same rumor, that he was out there saying he did it. But that's kind of the only evidence we have to support it.
Yeah, that's just the seating. That's the only reason I would give him any percentage.
And to me, it's just Tupac went up and punched a killer in the face, and 2 hours later, Tupac was killed in a gang drive-by shooting. It's not a big stretch to figure out what happened, even if you didn't have all the confessions and the corroborating witness statements.
And most of the drive-by shootings that I ever investigated, and trust me, I've been involved in a lot, they always came from the passenger side. And so that's why I believe Orlando seating was on the passenger side of the vehicle. And they just so happened pulled up to the left of them, which was on the driver's side, and that was just a coincidence. And that's why I believe Dre was put in the position of possibly having to do it, and where
he wasn't in the headspace of thinking he was going to be put in that position.
Exactly.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the gun gets shoved at him, and
exactly. Yeah.
Someone asked a good question. This is a hot topic that we haven't talked about.
Let's talk about the Biggie one before you go to that one. Let's just that great position on who we believe killed Biggie.
Oh, sorry,
No, I think that Keith. I'm sorry. I think that Suge was going to answer back for what happened in Vegas with Tupac and himself, and he hired somebody that he knew would take care of that kind of business, which is Poochie. So he gets his girlfriend, somebody that he can trust, to make the connection between the two, since Suge was in jail and couldn't really get at him. She goes, delivers the message, an agreement's made. That guy shows up, shoots him, and kills him.
So that's Michael's and Greg's position, that's murder rap position. And so they done put it in a book, they done put it in a DVD, and that's their position.
And there's no evidence to support anything else, which I think is equally important to mention. There's no evidence to point towards anybody else. So with all that investigative effort and all of the interviews, and we turned over rocks. Yeah. And at the end of the day, nothing points anywhere else but right there.
Yeah. Well, then there's people out there that say crooked cops and Reggie and his boys are. They even got away from that. They just call them the death row police now. They got a term called I was right way protective service. Then they have some death row police. Could you pretty much explain? Is there any evidence other than Kevin Hackey? Was there any evidence that anybody other than Rich McCulley and a guy named David Love, who worked for me once, I think, that were LAPD cops that worked for Right Way Protective Services, or death row, other than the time that Sharita admits that some of Kevin Gaines' friends worked a family reunion picnic for Snoop. Yeah. Did y'all ever find out anything other than that?
No, and we looked. Of course, Kevin McCauley was under internal affairs investigation even before Tupac was shot. And Kevin McCauley suffered the consequences of not abiding by the directions that the department gave him about, fraternizing. Yeah. And so working off duty under those conditions. But they looked for everybody because they wanted to make sure that the cops didn't get compromised. So that was it. At the end of the day, of course, Hackey never worked for LAPD. So you mentioned him in
well, I just said Kevin.
Yeah, and
I said Kevin saying that's where they get that from. Those guys worked, or he saw them around. He never said they worked for Right Way. He just said he saw them at events and parties and all of that, which was okay. Which he retracted.
Well,
we call Kevin Hackey Retracky Hackey is what his name is. Retracky Hackey. Y'all need to get some Antoine Beatty. Boy, Antoine Beatty used to be on that boy ass. Yeah.
I think though that brings up an interesting point that I think we've talked about before, but that's that there's a lot of different law enforcement agencies in the LA area that are not LAPD. And sometimes I see the conspiracy nuts out there. It seems like they're almost intentionally playing word games. Sometimes they'll stop saying LAPD cops, they'll start saying LA cops.
Yeah.
It's like they think that nobody's going to notice that there's a difference between LAPD and Long Beach and Inglewood and what used to be Compton. And all those different
Hawthorne
and
and
Empire and North
Maywood.
Hollywood and
there's hundreds.
They're all separate. They're all separate departments. The LAPD found that McCauley was the one guy from the LAPD specifically who was there, and they told him to stop.
Question Blake wanted to tell you, Greg, he appreciates your work. I have followed Pop Murder closely since '96. Your explanation makes the most sense. I've seen all the interviews from all the players. Greg's facts is correct. I just want to let you know that Quash Blake wanted to let you know that. But everybody's out here is not,
No, I think the vast majority of people are, to take 15 minutes of time and, evaluate the information. I think they all draw the same conclusion. It's just the fringe guys that we hear about. But, like flat earthers, you don't hear about all the people that think the earth is round, even though that's 99% of the people, but you do hear about the guys that believe it's flat.
The earth is not flat?
So, can we talk about City of Lies?
Yeah, go ahead. This is your subject.
So I know there's some conspiracy theorist videos out there trying to, and I think even the makers of the film, the director and I think Randall Sullivan have kind of spread this a little bit that LAPD or other forces are shutting the movie down because they're afraid of what it has to say. But the truth is, it seems, according to articles that I've read, is that just the distributor is having financial problems. And an article I read said that creditors have moved in, and they're basically like, you can't release any more movies. You need to sell off the rights that you have. And so that's supposedly what they're doing now. They're going to sell the rights off to City of Lies and hope that some other distributor comes around and picks it up, and then they'll see what that distributor is going to do with it. So it seems like it's just purely business. Financial situation. It has nothing to do with the content of the movie. That distributor has other movies out on other subjects that are being treated the same way, that are going to have to be sold off apparently. And City of Lies, unfortunately for the people that made it, just got caught up in that situation.
I also wonder, and we may never know this, even if it's true, if it isn't have something to do with the potential lawsuits that would arise from it. If, because a lot of these things, they get greenlit and they go through the process, and it's not until towards the end where lawyers get involved and evaluate what exactly it is that's getting put out. And if they realize that there's this potential for a massive lawsuit, which there would be if they identify Amir Muhammad, Harry Billups, or David Mack as murderers in Biggie's case, those guys are going to step up, and they're going to get lawyers, and they're going to win. And that's going to come right out of all the profits that movie would have made.
Yeah.
These distributors recognize, we got to cut our losses.
Yeah, I think they just went broke myself.
Maybe.
I think they, and they had two good actors. I really think Forrest Whitaker would have played a good part, even though he was a fictional character.
Fictional character, yeah.
Yeah, and Johnny Depp, I like Johnny Depp. He's crazy. They get mad because he was in character. He was a drunk, womanizer, everything that Russell Poole was, and he stayed in character, and they got mad. But anyway,
yeah.
It was something. I had a question I wanted to ask you. Okay, let's talk about and after that, whenever y'all got to go, I'll let y'all go. But we'll stay on as long as y'all want. Let's talk about how everybody that's connected to this case died, because I'm tired of hearing people say Frank was killed and Michael was killed and all of that. Just tell your opinion, because they done heard my opinion. Everybody, I won't throw out names, and you tell them your opinion how they died, or what you heard. What you heard.
Well, I know that that.
Let me say their names, and then you can say it. Let me just say their name. Michael Moore. Yeah. That's what you want to talk about. Michael Moore.
Michael Moore was on a lot of painkillers and died as a result. I don't suspect that it was intentional, and I wouldn't ever say that unless there was evidence to support that.
I'm going to say he OD'd. That nigga got fired from the fire department behind that. And that's why he got laid off. He was on that shit. He was taking no pills or pain pills. That's what's up with Michael Moore. All right. Frank Alexander. Let's talk about Frank. How did he die?
Frank
Reggie Wright kicked through the window in his house and put a gun in his mouth and killed him.
Yeah. Frank was either mishandling a gun or he was intentionally threatening to take his own life.
In front of who?
And his wife.
Yes.
Or she was in the house. I don't know that she was actually standing there.
He was playing with it. They said he tried to do it before. This was the second time doing that bullshit. Talking about he gonna kill himself. He gonna kill himself. What type of man does that? I'm gonna kill what type of threat? My wife would look at me like I'm crazy. I'm going, we arguing, and I'm gonna kill myself if you don't stop. She'd be like, nigga, you need to kill yourself, you weak ass bitch ass nigga. But, okay.
Well,
all right, that's Frank. All right.
Here's the greater point to all that. Regardless of how these guys died, the idea that there's some conspiracy behind it, think about how illogical that is. They had already told their stories, and they had already offered the information that they had, and then years later they die. So what would be the point in killing them? You're not keeping them from saying anything.
Yeah, that's like killing a witness like years after he's already testified in trial and taken to jail.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that's Frank. Let's go to somebody easy before we get to the big whammy. Rich McCauley, he's an easy one.
Yeah, so Rich died he died during a surgical procedure. Rich, a big steroid user for one, which, as we all know, that doesn't help. And, he got in trouble with the LAD because of his association with the death row thing. And he ultimately resigned in lieu of being fired. So he was going to get fired, and he said, so I'll just quit. And then, he committed, not that anybody gives a shit, but evidently it was a deal to the LAPD, but he, I shouldn't say that. It wasn't a big deal, but, he got married out there in Las Vegas. When he was already married back here. So he's married in 2 states to 2 different women, which was a conflict of interest, or conduct unbecoming is what we call it. And so that was another thing that was kind of attributing to his downfall, at least as far as law enforcement goes. And then I think he became a car salesman.
Okay, that's rich. And
then he died.
Let me ask you. I want to ask you. Big site. We're gonna actually use a big site.
That I don't know.
Okay. Me either. That's why I asked you. I don't know how big site died either. Okay. So we'll pass that. I'm sure they'll tell us. There was another one that was an easy one. So let's go to
Johnny
Poochie.
J.
Okay, Poochie.
Poochie. He's riding his motorcycle. He got shot in the back, and that evidently was a machine pistol, an automatic machine pistol. And
he was supposedly shot 10 times in the back.
Mm-hmm. Riding his bike and.
Okay, Johnny J.
Johnny J got killed in custody at the county jail.
Got killed or committed suicide?
Let me backtrack there.
He
was killed, meaning he died. I should just use he died instead of killed. The investigation was that he went over the rails and died.
Okay, well, you saying shit that's going to be controversial. He jumped over or was he pushed over?
The investigation claims that he jumped over, committed suicide, that he took his own life, and that's the official statement.
Okay, Heron.
He was
shot
at
multiple times in his car. Yeah,
that was the one that got killed. Yeah, Santa Fe and Rosecrans.
Yeah, Santa Fe and Rosecrans.
Okay.
Yeah, two guys pulled up behind him and got out on foot and shot him. One through the back window and one through his passenger window.
Buntry L.
Shot at the liquor store, right?
No, gas station.
Gas station, okay.
Atlantic and Rosecrans. Okay. Well, now let's go to the hard one. One of the hard ones. Russell Poole.
Bad health. Years and years of stress. As the years went by, life was not getting easier for him. It was getting harder. He left the LAPD, got divorced. He had a lot of financial issues. He had bankruptcies against, he had evictions. He was getting forcibly evicted out of houses. He had liens against him from the IRS. He filed bankruptcy. So he had massive financial problems, marital problems, drinking problems, health problems.
And no health insurance because he quit the police department 6 months before he was probably eligible to get some.
Yeah, he would have had a pension, obviously, had he stuck around, but he did get a good job. He ended up working for the U.S. Marshal Service.
Greg, that's a private security company. My boy, all the cops, the Compton cops working there. They don't get
there is ACAL. There's AKAL Security. He was employed by them, but he also had a job with the Marshals Service, the United States Marshal Service.
Well, he told me he was a dispatcher at the. He used to be the dispatcher because they wouldn't let him work on the floor.
Yeah, he worked on the floor. Guys would see him. He wore the blue the blue blazers and stood out by the metal machines and kind of kept
that's a private security company. That's not directly.
I know they're contracted out, but he also had a job with the Marshal Service, and he ended up losing his hearing. And so when he lost his hearing, he was no longer qualified for that job, so he lost that job.
That's probably why they put him in dispatching. Yeah. I know he was last week. Oh, he lost that job totally. Because everybody always just told me like he was a dispatcher.
He got medically disqualified from the job because he lost his hearing.
Damn,
and so there's just a series of unfortunate events that spiraled downhill. And so
how did the quiet die?
He walked in to kind of advocate for this new theory that he was trying to further, which, was this whole thing about you and Sharitha being behind Tupac's murder and all this, group of people that had all come together.
The victim and all that,
yeah.
So why would he go to the sheriff? Sheriff wasn't investigating the Biggie murder or the Vegas thing. Why was he going to the sheriff?
Because he believed that Suge Knight would have known things about the murders, whether it be Biggie or Tupac. He thought that Suge Knight would be somebody that if they offered a deal to, he would divulge whatever it was he knew about the murders. And so Russell Poole's strategy was, I'll go to the sheriffs, espouse my thoughts or my plan, and if they'll give Suge a deal on on this current case that he's in custody for, maybe in exchange he'll cooperate and we can help solve these 2 old cases. Of course, the sheriff's department's looking at him like, you're out of your mind, and we're not going to make that deal. And the stress of the situation and all the stuff that I mentioned beforehand all added up, and he had a heart attack.
Yeah. Okay, Gaddafi.
Killed in Orange, New Jersey? Some drug-related... I think it was Orange, New Jersey is where he was killed, right?
It was in New Jersey. I don't know which part.
He was killed. That was.
But y'all saying a drug deal? I heard they were playing Russian roulette.
It was something along the lines of a good gun accident. They claimed the gun accidentally went off, and he was.
I heard they were doing Russian roulette a lot out there.
See, I thought that somebody was charged with that, and if
he
it was an accident,
Mutal cousin was. I think he did like 10 years.
Time for it.
Yeah, I think he did like 10 years for it.
Well, hold on. How would you be charged with a crime if a person shoots themselves?
If me and you sitting around playing with a gun, and I give you a gun, and I think they said they lied to try to cover it up. You know how they try to say you was accessory after the fact or something like that because you took the gun and
I think
the gun.
The version I heard was that Napoleon's cousin just pulled the trigger and killed him, but it wasn't intentional or. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard something about Russian roulette, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think his name was Rhodey or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Gaddafi. So he wasn't killed because he was the only living witness or anything like that. So I could have told the truth because that's what everybody want to say.
Yeah. Again. What? Okay.
Okay.
Who was it? Who was it that he would have identified that would have caused people to go and kill him?
Oh.
Think about
that big bad Reggie Wright, and Sharita and all that. That's the motherfucker Reggie Wright.
So Gaddafi was gonna pin you for setting up the murder, and then so you went out and took him out.
Yeah, something like that.
And pinned it on Napoleon's cousin. Man, you were a freaking.
Man, I'm worse than Jack Bauer. I tell y'all, if I had to kill Frank. Do you know I shot Russell Poole with a heart attack gun? The sheriff, or I had that done. It was a heart attack, I forget, a heart attack gun or some shit. I'm Jack Bauer. I'm the living 24.
You're the world's greatest assassin.
I guess. But let's see, who else we forget about? It's got to be somebody. John, tell us who else we forgot. We know forgot somebody important.
Let's see.
I guess that's about it. Well, that's about everybody that's involved in that. But that's a lot of people. But we all forget what? It's been 20.
How did Orlando die?
Oh, yeah, Orlando.
How did we lose?
Hello? Yeah, we're here.
Okay, cool.
They want to know about Orlando. We can talk about Orlando.
Orlando got shot in Compton in 1998, right? So he's over at shot at the gas station and trying to collect a debt from the Stones. Michael and Jerry. And things go sideways. Guns get produced. Triggers get pulled. Orlando shot. Stones get shot.
Mm. What about Stretch?
That I don't know.
Yeah,
I had heard that. I heard that he was killed from somebody from the West Coast, but I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh, shit! I'll tell you, Ricky Johnson, Knobs. I know, but we don't talk about that because they all believe it was about a 13 or 14-year-old, a 13 or 14-year-old and a dope ripoff. I said, okay,
Hey,
yeah, right. But it happened on the anniversary of It happened a year to the date. No coincidence, y'all. Yeah, okay.
Here's a death we haven't talked about yet. Death Row East wants to clear up the detail on how DeAndre Smith died. Was it obesity or was it rat poisoning? I've never heard rat poisoning.
I have. They probably heard that from me, yeah. Matter of fact, I heard his girl got charged or got arrested or picked up a question about that.
Yeah, his autopsy was determined to be natural causes.
Natural causes. But she got picked up on it and questioned about it.
She may have been questioned about...
Yeah, but they probably,
Yeah, but there was no foul play determined in his police investigation.
Okay, good.
Crazy detail about him was, Venus and Serena Williams' was it half sister or stepsister?
Yeah, her
who was
sister.
murdered?
No, their real sister. Yeah.
And she was killed in Compton. They tried to kill the guy she was riding with, and they missed him and killed her. DeAndre Smith was actually looked at for that murder and was brought in. And
it was his drug house. Yeah, it was his house, but they tried to snatch the drugs. It was like a dope ripoff. The guy was white. He just got out of jail about a month or two ago for that. Yeah. He just got out.
It turned out that, DeAndre Smith didn't have anything with it. I think he ran from the scene, like as everybody else did.
Yeah. Well, they found it was his spot. It was his drug spot.
Yeah.
All right. Robert Hugh, Reggie the Rat. Yeah, I know. I'm a big rat. I tell on everybody. I was a rat. There's been a lot of unsolved murder.
Hey, Greg, Ken has been asking if you'll talk about the Gecko ammunition.
Yeah, so the Gecko ammunition is kind of interesting because, depending on...
Which is what was allegedly used to kill Biggie, for people that don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of a unique ammo. It's not something you come across all the time, but it's not rare the way it was presented. It's rare in the sense that it's only distributed from 2 locations in the country as far as wholesale goes. But then it goes out to a whole bunch of retail outlets, and once it's in those retail outlets, it's no longer, hard to get. They had it at Turner's in L.A., and most people from L.A. know that was a popular place to go get ammunition. It was found in other crimes down in Compton and in Los Angeles. And so the idea that this was so unique and rare that it was one of a kind, that's false.
I've been trying to tell them this. A company,
and that all came from an FBI agent that investigated the murders. He wrote a report up on it. And that's just based on one guy's opinion, and he based it entirely, like Greg said, on the fact that there were only 2 wholesalers in the U.S. He ignored the fact that in L.A. alone there were like a dozen or more retail places where you can get it, which is what matters, where regular people can buy it. So it wasn't rare at all. But that same guy also wrote in the report that Impalas were rare, which if you were around in the 90s, everybody had those big Chevy Impalas. People loved them. So the muscle car guys loved them. The gangsters loved them.
Oh yeah, they were. It was a waiting demand. It was a wait.
They were big, powerful, like old school muscle cars, which there weren't a lot of at that time that you could buy. Yeah. Yep. I had a friend who had them. They were awesome. Horrible turn radius. It was like a bus, but they were really cool, and you could make good lowriders out of them. So that's that same guy that said that Gecko ammo was rare also said that Impalas were rare, and that's ridiculous.
Well, they were just hard to get. They wasn't rare.
Right,
they were hard to get.
And
that was just in '95. By the time '96, '97, GM had caught up and was able to get them. The '96s that came out, they had a lot. Hey, I forgot it. We forgot a guy. Tell them about T. Brown.
T. Brown, so he goes in or he's present at a weed dispensary in Compton, and place gets robbed. T. Brown's in there, gets shot.
Yep.
That is, to my knowledge, still officially unsolved. I think I've heard 2 different theories. One was that the owner was targeted. It was just a straight up robbery. If you look at his social media, he was flashing money and his product and jewelry and stuff all over his Instagram. Kind of would have made him maybe a target there. And the other theory I heard is that Brown had allegedly ripped off another Crip gang, and he was the target, and it was the shop owner that was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got killed. So,
and that's
but
very
it's
likely,
unsolved.
Considering who T. Brown was and his proclivity to rob people. It wouldn't be a stretch to think that somebody came after him.
Yeah.
And what happened in that game is, and the way it was, it was in the back room and all of that. That was just a deal that went bad. It just was up there trying to make something, and Nobu decided to rob him. We're gonna rob him. That's all. I think that game was shady. You know, there was shady characters involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are dead, but like you said, it's been a lot of years.
It's been 23 years, 24 years. Yeah, so a lot of people are going to die in 24 years. But it was a lot of people involved in this scenario that is dead, though. When you think about it, boy. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope we answered all of your questions. I tried to call a couple of people and or take some calls, but I think the way we got it, I think I called John and I think I called Greg and them, and I wanted to see if we can take some questions and answers just to keep y'all involved, but I guess we have to do that another time because of the way we all on the phone right now. But Mike, anything else we think we need to recap? I know Mike told us his opinion. I hope if Eugene called me tomorrow and want to talk to Greg and we can set up something, we'll see. I know Mike would be like, hell no, Reggie, fuck you. But we'll
Listen,
see.
If Eugene comes from an honest place, I'd be happy to talk to him. I'll entertain any questions he has. I'll have a face-to-face with him, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But he has to come from an honest place.
And even if we do it privately, you know.
Yeah, it has to come from an honest place. It can't be this bullshit that he's just throwing shit out there just to
I really
see what happens.
I really believe that he's upset because of the not being shown the picture again. I really think that he believed that y'all wasn't trying to solve the case because he was never shown the picture again. And I know that wasn't on your part. I think on the detectives prior to your case is what I really think is. But you got to remember, he also got mad with Ben Crump now on this betrayal. So he seemed to be a little like Sharita. I grew a grown girl when she got mad at you on her betrayal. And how Reggie got mad at you on his betrayal. So,
and that's okay. I can deal with that because I can try to defend that, but maybe I can't. The point is, you don't make accusations about people and start calling them corrupt cops or calling.
Well, we can call that all. They think you're a corrupt cop because
from a guy not
from a guy in law enforcement. Yeah.
From a guy from his background, that's unacceptable. That's bullshit. Yeah. He knows it.
Yeah. And yeah. And yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean, you're a corrupt cop because you pulled the gun on the baby. You know. So that's why you're so corrupt. Man.
And again,
they knew how much put it in my son when they came kicking in my door at 4 a.m. That whole DEA agent task force was corrupt. That's
right.
Just how you do it. You know, that's how you do it. Shit. But anyway, yeah. Okay.
So,
all
right, man.
Okay. So appreciate you, Greg, taking your time from your family and everything.
Yeah.
Mike, you don't seem to have no family, so we ain't gonna thank you for taking your time.
He's talking about wife. He means wife and kid, Mike. He just means wife and kid.
Yeah, man.
No, I like messing with Mike. Mike is good. So Mike, I appreciate you as well. You always are. Greg is so laid back. You more like me. You like to talk shit with him, so that's why.
I wish
Greg's too cool.
I wish I had Greg's cool and calm demeanor. I think that comes from being a cop and having to deal with difficult people.
That was Greg. Greg made me feel comfortable in a situation where I would have went out, got an attorney and all that. Like, what the hell? And he just took me to Lone Star and said, "Hey, Reggie, this is all going to work out. We just need, because people don't know when you don't, It's just a scary situation being investigated, like something you know you had nothing to do with, but you don't know they get you on other things. And back then, I was like, did I do something wrong with taxes? I know I was doing a lot of shit with Suge money and shit. They gonna get my ass on something.
All we wanted to know was what happened, man. And it's too important not to solve.
Oh, once you told me what it was about, I was like, oh, y'all want about Biggie? I don't need no attorney for that. Oh, that's what y'all about. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah. All right, well, but once again, though, seriously, on behalf of John and Bob first, I want to thank both of y'all for taking the time to, just to clear up and respond.
No. We appreciate you guys because you're continuing to fight towards, clearing the air. And I think
this is something Antoine used to try to get me to do this back in 2009, 2000. I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Mm-hmm. That's when he kept calling me, and I said, you know what? I got the perfect person for you to talk to. I said, here's Greg Kading's number. What you and Greg talk? Mm-hmm. Y'all deal with this shit.
I love that, Tom.
Man, that talk was good.
I like that guy, man. He's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate you guys for just keeping the dialogue alive and clearing the air. And I know some people just aren't going to listen. That's just the way it is.
But they like to be funny. Most of them on here like to say something that they think will get a laugh. Mm-hmm. They just want to be funny and all of that. And once you tap at them and call them all little bitch motherfuckers and this, then they be like, oh, okay, I love you. I didn't mean it like that. Why you been so mean? Why you're taking it wrong, Reggie? And then I realized these are 18, 19-year-olds. I got to be like, oh, these are young kids. The grown-ups, the people that was around when all this really out there, they interact. They ask you decent questions and all that. The ones that be tapping at you was over there from Lay Legend and Tanique's channel, Tupac Alive. All right, let me stop. I'm talking about people now. Yeah. Okay. But once again, thanks. John, you got anything you want to follow up?
No, I think they covered pretty much everything.
I know they gave us everything.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mike's always good with the board, so when I see a good question, he already asks it. So.
Oh yeah, they just talking shit now. They just talking shit. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I think we had over about 300 some people on your live stream, which is a good number for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people was interacting, and well, cool. Well, like I said, we'll let y'all get back to your families. Y'all done did 2.5 hours with us. So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys, and thanks to everybody that watched and asked all the questions too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Rich.
All right, cool.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
I'll see you, John.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh, all right, cool. Cool. So yeah, I don't know. Probably done lost a friend and not a friend.
No, you
someone
were good.
that I was talking to. You
were good. You
I was cool.
Yeah,
okay.
You stood up for him when he needed to, and you made sure that you justified some of the concerns he had. You know what I mean? You didn't throw him under the bus or say he's an idiot for thinking this or that. You were good about it. So I don't see where he can get mad at you. He may get mad about what was said, but I don't see.
But I mean, it's the truth. So that's our truth. Everybody has a truth. That's
right.
The truth that I subscribe by.
Right.
That's what I really believe. None of us know. Only God knows what really, really happened.
Yeah.
That's just what the evidence to me points. That's what it points to.
Yeah.
I really like those two guys. Those are two very intelligent guys, and but they just like me. This is what we believe. This is what we suspect. We don't know. That's why I get mad with people when somebody call me the grammar police. They be like, I was like, you're supposed to phrase the question like, this is what I believe or I think. Mm-hmm. They'd be like, Tupac didn't do this or so-and-so didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know?
Yeah.
I don't believe this happened. Is how you supposed to. They like, okay, you the grammar police, Reggie. Okay.
Well, that's normally the weirdos that think he's alive that just say prove that he's dead, and no one can prove anybody's dead.
Oh man,
so.
we don't even talk. You just call them. You just call them crazy old. And you entertain them. Like I said, I like Lay Legend personally. I disagree with his thoughts about the Tupac alive, which I don't believe. None of them believe it. I think that's just what they pushing to get views. Is what I really believe.
Yeah.
And even Tanique do good research and find things, and so that's why I don't like shitting on Tanique.
Right.
But Tanique I think he just goes a little bit overboard with it. But other than that, I like Tanique. And then Real is my boy, and then Galbo just doing this to put out. Galbo just like the content. He's a researcher on the music. He's really like your boy. What's your partner name?
Omar.
He's really like Omar, just really a music head. He just loved the music behind. He loved the stories behind the music. And then Art, like I said, Art just know how to find those gems, those nice interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all the rest of them. I don't even know if they did, but and then the races they just like to have their KKK convention.
Yeah. Which we got to get a donation pulled together and get somebody
get that boy
connection.
Get him some internet service.
Yeah.
We got to get so he don't be sitting outside Starbucks.
Yeah, that was.
Y'all
depressing.
know that boy did a live stream. For those of y'all that missed it at the beginning, we figured it out. J Mix was in his car doing a live stream outside of Starbucks, or McDonald's, wherever he gets some free, because he kept cutting off, and then he kept saying, "I really got to go, RJ. I really got to go."
And RJ was the
and
one
he was
controlling
in the car the whole time,
all the controls.
Yeah, he
so
J-Mix
is just there on his phone. So
So we gotta send them some money so they can do live streams, so we can have some context to talk about them when I want to talk shit about people.
Yeah.
All right. So guess what, man? I've been waiting until September the 4th to come, and I've been so busy I haven't watched either one of the shows. The Mayans came on last night. Don't know anything about it, so I gotta go watch that. And Bobby Brown. Yeah, Bobby Brown. I want to see what that crackhead got to say. I haven't got to watch that. Did I say Starbucks? Starbucks. All right, I know brother can't talk. But anyway, so gotta go watch that. Anybody think the Minans or the Bobby Brown was good? Anybody want to talk about that? No.
And see.
Okay. You didn't watch him either?
No.
Yeah, Bobby Brown was pretty good. Okay, Tony. What's up, Tony Cole?
I heard they tried to make it like Whitney was the bad influence. I don't know if that's
really?
true or not. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. But I don't know.
My boy Real did a show. I didn't even get a chance to watch him today. When he was talking about, he said something about that Bobby Brown said he fucked Janet Jackson. Okay, well Janet was kind of undercover. Y'all got to remember Janet was married for a while and we didn't know. And y'all got to remember Janet got a baby. She got a baby. She's talking about she auntie too. Janet got that one that Ruby raising as her daughter is Janet Jackson's baby, y'all. Everybody forget. I know a lot of y'all too young to know, but Janet had that baby by one of those DeBarge. I think it was El DeBarge. Yeah. Wired Up, I gave you props earlier in the show for over there banging on the races and the meth head. So I appreciate that. I saw that. I saw you let them have it. The show that's in the movie. They showed that in the movie. Oh, okay. I heard it was in the book too. Yeah. I haven't read it. DeBarge. Oh, you talking about the DeBarge? No, I don't know what you're talking about. All right. DeBarge, old school Drake. Yeah, Pretty Boys. Not El DeBarge, James DeBarge. Yeah. Whitney Smash Pac 2. That's what your boy Bobby said. That's what Bobby said. But I don't think Pac was that big then. He was the backup dancer back when Whitney, before he got married to Bobby, he was fucking with Humpty Hump and now. What was their name? What was that group name, John? Digital Underground. Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Okay, they said the miners it's all right. Well, everything start off slow. Slow. That's all snowfall. See, I'm feeling snowfall, y'all. It's catching up to the SOA, Sons of Anarchy. It's catching up. It's starting off slow, but it's starting to build up. I'm starting to kind of feel it, Ricky. Reggie, who killed T. Brown? I don't know, but that was the one that we were saying that was in a drug rip-off at a dispensary, a marijuana dispensary. Like Keith Chief or something like that. He's supposed to was the owner of it. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Snowfall's getting good. Yeah, it is. She had a baby by James DeBarge. Yeah. Yeah. Is it James or L? I thought it was L. It was the oldest one, the older one. The one that can't stay off of that crack cocaine. Bobby says when these fuck pop too. Yeah, Bobby said that. Yeah, I saw that. Who killed Kanan? Man, ain't that crazy, y'all? Well, man, we about to do a spoiler alert for those of y'all that haven't watched Power the last 2 weeks. Y'all need to turn y'all speakers down for a minute. Don't tune out this bit. Oh, turn your speakers down. All right, I'm going to talk about it. Now, why the fuck did they kill Kanan off? What's up with 50? I heard he say he about to start working on the BMF dude. Meech gave him permission to work on that. But damn, he killed Kanan off. Kanan was the man. Yeah, I'm tired of Tariq too, D. Will. Yeah, Tariq. I told y'all at the beginning of the season Tariq was getting on my nerves. Tariq and Tasha. One of the young ladies that tuned in say, I wanted to say something to her. She say Faith wasn't no hoe. Mm. I hope she's still listening. Homegirl. If we fucking if your best friend or nigga that you working with and doing business with and doing tracks with in the studio and hanging out with and all of that, I don't care. The pussy's off limits. I don't care 50 years later. I know it's been 20-some years later. But Faith and Stevie J got no reason to be fucking. No reason. Yeah. No reason. So that's why I say Faith was a whole baby girl. All right. Tariq is going to be like a ghost. Now, I don't know. I don't know. Ghost need to knock the shit out. Tommy about ready to knock the shit out of you. Now I ain't burning my Nikes. Shit, I ain't got no problem with what.
What are people mad about with Nikes? Fill me in.
Yeah,
I saw
girl,
some
Tony
people burning.
I think she being funny.
What happened though?
Now, man, I'm mad that the stock's going down and everything. Man, white folks is tripping.
What over
Y'all
the
over
Kaepernick thing? That commercial?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What's the problem with it? It's quote unquote un-American. Is that what they're
rednecks
are trying to say?
That's the Donald Trump.
Oh,
man, come on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Even though I used to be a Cowboys fan, I mean, that was like my 14, my number 14. I watched the Cowboys because you see them so much, and, I like the Dak and all of that. But I'm not going to support the Cowboys this year because Jerry Jones is taking the lead on this shit about them protesting and saying any Cowboy protest, they won't be a Cowboy. And then that bitch ass go and say, yeah, the field is not a place for a protest. Come on, Dak. Don't say nothing. Just be quiet. Don't do the company line. Man, no, fuck the Cowboys. Because of Jerry Jones. He wanted to take the front line on that. Fuck you, Jerry Jones. But then, your boy Gruden, John Gruden, he's showing himself to be a racist.
What's he doing?
Gruden is a racist.
He's back in Oakland.
I know the Raiders. I know they ain't got the money like they do to pay that boy, but you don't get rid of him. But y'all think about all the people that Gruden got rid of. He got rid of a lot of players that was controversial. That was, he got rid of. Go look at all the people he done got rid of. Yeah, I don't know. I think Gruden a racist now. I used to like Gruden. I just don't like he getting rid of a lot of players that he should have got rid of. Yeah, I don't know. The jury's still out on that. Yeah.
What about Young Buck? Did you
Mm,
hear about that?
Young Buck. No, what happened with Young Buck?
I don't know. He allegedly got caught with
Oh,
a.
talking to with a trainee.
Yeah.
Man, shit. Y'all was talking to a trainee on here, so hey, I don't get mad at that. Y'all had all of you motherfuckers school.
Was it Yaya or was it Pretty Face? Which one was it?
No, Pretty Face still here.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah. Pretty Face cool.
I got it mixed
up.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all had all of y'all fools, so yeah, no, it's just when you're in their company, and then you get caught with them, then that's when you worry. But over the phone, shit, we all probably, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Nike and Buck all been hearing about, Cowboys and Lakers. So you're a Cowboys fan. I'm still a Raiders fan. I've just got to watch Gruden. Yeah, I just got to watch Gruden because he's been getting rid of some players that he shouldn't have got rid of. Yeah, I know all the caps in them. What's up, Tony Soprano? Yeah. He's in Jack, man, at the ass. Oh, okay, that's a good one. I sent you something about that clip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Asian Jack documentary.
Asian Jack. Yeah. Y'all done seen that by now. Yeah, Asian Jack is the ass gonna leave me. Stop worrying about me. Asian Jack said his 10 years almost up. He said him and Dad's gotta holler. He said, yeah. He said, Dad's gotta holler. Okay. Johnny Coop said the Bobby Brown show was pretty good. Okay, I might watch that tonight. I don't know which one I'm gonna watch. All right, peace out, Tony. Uh-oh. Mr. Man. No, that's somebody else. Reggie, I want to buy the Death Row TV show. If it's coming on DVD, will it be released soon?
Probably Chronicles, huh?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah. Still got 5 rings. Who you talking about, question? Talking about Blake. Okay. What's up, Reg? JMX was in a relationship with Orlando. Oh, man. No, Orlando wasn't gay. And I don't think JMX is gay. He's just on that map. That's all.
You know what it could be? If he doesn't have internet, maybe he's staying at a clean house. No, like a
rehab.
Like a rehab outpatient, like clean house thing where you adjust to getting out of rehab and getting back into normal life or some shit. I don't know. I don't know why you'd be in a car unless you, one, don't have the internet, or two, you're.
I didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
But it's the first of the month, so everybody got something. Money the first of the month.
I mean, they even have internet programs for people.
There's something up with it.
Yeah.
There's something that was up with it.
Yeah.
If that nigga do it in the car again, and if he ain't at the little house on the Perry, then something's up. Yeah, he probably was at a sober league. He kept saying he had to go.
Yeah.
So he kept saying, I gotta go.
Unless he's working. Maybe he's at work taking a break in the car. I don't know. Either way, it's weird. Yeah.
All right. Reggie, do you know if WAC is still putting together some type of shit? Okay. They've been arguing. Not arguing. WAC had got word that Suge was trying to do some backbiting or something like that with some other people, and some say that's why he didn't put the money up, or he's not doing anything. They're going through some issues right now, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to talk about that too much because it's kind of a sensitive subject. Suge broke, he wouldn't be in jail. Yeah. He still got his name, though. He's like Tina Turner. Tony. Remember Tina Turner said, Tina, just give me my name. I'll go make some money. I really believe he'll go make some money doing something with his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was trying to take care of too many people, and I think now everything's clear. That nigga credit gonna be better than all of ours because he ain't did nothing in a while. And so he's good. He's good. He'll be good. Yeah. All his all his deals are gone, and any tax liens or anything like that, everything been taken care of. So any money that he gets now is gonna be all free and clear. So I think he'll be all right. And hopefully he got his health where he's taking his medication. That's all I ever worried about Suge about, was I knew he wasn't controlling his diabetes right. Mm. And I bet you he had to learn how to get the right medication and all of that for that. So I think if he beat this case, I think he's gonna be all right. I think the other two cases they'll plead out, and so he might be all right. It won't be until about October when I think everything get going. I think he might be all right. I think he can convince one or two people that his intentions wasn't to kill Terry Carter. I really do. I don't think he can convince, where you can get an acquittal, mm-hmm. but I think he can get a hung jury. Yeah, Suge was mainly, if y'all notice, in a New Edition, they talked about it a little bit, where they had a show with Albie Shore, New Edition, and Bobby Brown. He was mainly worked for this guy named Al Heyman, and he kind of controlled. They were like the promoters of the tour, and he was kind of really working for Al Heyman, which was paying all three of those different acts. And that's how he got cool with Bobby Brown and later DOC and all of them. So that is how he got his start. But mainly from he's a boxer promoter now, but Al Heyman, yeah. That's who helped him get. He used to do all of y'all parents that's a little young that lived on the West Coast. They used to go to San Diego, this thing called Budweiser Superfest. Mm-hmm. 70s and the 80s. The late 70s and the 80s. So my parents went and everybody went. San Diego used to be like Essence. And it was called the Budweiser Superfest. And that's where this guy, Al Heyman, got his break from. Yeah. So he is gay, stone meth head. Yeah. I don't know if he gay. I ain't gonna put no gay thing on him. I never saw no gay tendencies from him. And y'all know I'm the first one that will call somebody gay, but I ain't gonna put no gay tendencies on the man. Reggie, interview KPD next time. That's a hard one for me. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Kenneth Brown, Kading is a dirty cop. Okay, what did he do that was dirty? Every one thing that he did was dirty. Every one thing. Reggie, can you get an interview with Suge in the courtroom? Nah, I wouldn't do him like that. I'm gonna go to a couple of his hearings to show support, but it ain't gonna be at the beginning when they're just trying to get stuff going. It'll be when testifying going on. But I'm gonna go down there. So I may show some pictures and do what I can to look out for the community. But I'm definitely gonna go, and I'll be getting some play-by-plays because. I'm still cool with a bunch of people that's related to it. So I'll be going. Sure. What's the blood time? For KPD, he's a compulsive liar. Yeah. Y'all just have to read his book, and we'll just have to talk about his book. I don't smoke. Wired up, I don't smoke though. I can honestly say I've never smoked a marijuana joint in my life. I have never smoked a marijuana joint in my life. No. Is the roll uncut still active? No, but John, didn't you get that? John can burn y'all a copy of that.
What?
Are you talking about? You talking about the DVD? Or are you talking about? Oh yeah, that's going. I'm sure I'm gonna get John in trouble in a minute, so we'll have to go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, was like 100. No, yeah, had Yapu. Y'all remember I called her bluff? I was like, call us right now. We want to. We ain't
She
seen
disappeared
Yaya
ever since, or I should say he disappeared ever since.
Yeah, D will, and it could be some motherfucker that look like Sherry Thompson. Did y'all see her Auntie Mama looking ass? That's a ugly chick. So she could have been using somebody else's picture, because D Will was the one who was like, man, my girl told me that she know that picture. She seen that picture. He said, this is her on the Instagram model. That is not who she is. Yeah. Reggie, are you with the I don't even know what the Illuminati is. No shit like that. Man, the Rams look good. Their defense look good. Y'all think that quarterback gonna do it the second year? The Rams look good. Man, don't worry about my Raiders. The Raiders ain't gonna win them about 5 or 6 games. We gotta do something, y'all, before Sunday, or well, we're gonna have to come out. I got a limited. It was a prototype when we were doing the merchandise deal of a Snoop Dogg T-shirt. I only got one, but it's bad as a motherfucker. But Snoop Dogg, I know we hate Snoop. I got to come up with something with just a pop. Well, we're gonna have to pick. I don't think I'll be in jail in December. In January, February. They should at least give me some time to report. To report in. So, we're gonna have to do something for the Super Bowl, y'all, where we pick the teams, and I know a lot of y'all gonna pick the same team, so we might have to do some points or something like that, and where we can give out something exclusive as a community, where we're gonna all just pick who we think gonna win the Super Bowl, and then because I know a bunch of y'all gonna have the same team, and so we're gonna have to pick a total points or something like that, where I can give y'all something nice. So our next show, we're gonna take some time to do that, where we're gonna pick. I know we should have did a for fantasy football league or something. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get everybody names, that's subscribing, especially all you regulars, and we're gonna pick a football team that's gonna win the Super Bowl. But we got to pick points, and whoever has the total amount of the score, because it's gonna be about 20 of us that are gonna have the same team for the Super Bowl that's gonna win it. So we're going to have to do the points, and that's how we're going to win. So maybe Friday we're going to do that before it gets started, until we can pick it. I know it's a game tomorrow night, Atlanta and Philadelphia, right? ATL and Philly. But somebody will be one game up. But just because you win one game don't mean you're going to win it. So let's do that. Yeah, Machiavelli 7 days, I'm still mad about that. That hurt me. That hurt me because when you're trying to build a team, like the Rams did. The Rams been having Donaldson on their team for a while. Now, they eventually paid him, but they were trying to string him along, and so they paid him. But that's how you do Khalil Mack. You don't trade him, I know 2 number ones is big, but you don't trade them. You're trying to move to a new town. You're about to move to Vegas. You need some superstars, And Khalil Mack is a superstar. Come on, Wesley Cooper, why you keep asking me that bullshit? Yeah, I mean, you do it just for the superstar, just for the amount of jerseys that the man sell. All right, Wesley Cooper. You know what you can do, right? You can suck my big, fat, black dick, you bitch ass motherfucker. Now get your bitch ass up out of here.
Here we go.
Thanks for the view. But, yeah. Bye-bye, Wesley. Everybody say bye-bye to Wesley, bitch ass. Take your bitch ass on. All right. Look how you feel, Rams. All right. Okay. Now, what's wrong with Wesley Cooper? Why are you tripping like that? All right, Big James. Okay, James Owens, Big James. You know what? I've been thinking on this Big James dude. I've been trying to figure out who he is. He got to be somebody that hung with Big West. The only thing that which Big West and Sugar was real tight back in the early '90s and stuff. Like we were talking about the Al Heyman day and all of that. And so the only way he messed up is when he say he came around in '99. Shit wasn't even out in '99. And y'all know, everybody know I was running shit in '99. And I would remember him. I don't remember him. So that's where he kind of fuck up when he started talking in 1999 shit. Now, if he would have said 2002, 2003 when I was gone, I would have been like, I can't say. But 99? No, Big James wasn't around in 99. I would remember him. Yeah. Who wanted a bowl of Frosted Flakes? I like Frosted Flakes. I eat those. Yeah. I like when all Al Heyman had Mr. Perfect. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is, but I'm sure it was somebody that was out for a minute. Okay. Cool. So we're at about 3 hours, y'all.
Yeah.
So I hope that was an informative interview. I'm sure we'll catch some backlash. You know, some people will go on and talk about it, and you know, all the police and they're linking up and the police channel and all of that shit. But okay, these were, you know, people that who shot Buntry. I don't know who the trigger man, but I believe it was. The guy y'all call Monkey Man was behind it. I don't know, you know, if he was actually the trigger man, but I believe for a fact that him and Lil Rod was behind it. Yeah. Reggie, where is my father? Who is your father? Reggie, you get those pop bat shrimp yet? Yeah. Any more Pac albums coming? Yeah. They said it's coming within 10 years. Alan from E1 came on and said there was some more Pac albums was coming. Yeah. Yep. So, John, anything else? Anything else we need to touch on? What up, D-Hound? D-Hound was out he was out here in L.A. for the weekend. He went to Roscoe's and he went to the beach and all that. D-Hound did some shit I ain't did out there. Well, I go to Roscoe's. I've been to Roscoe's. But he went out to the beach and I think he went down Malibu. I ain't did that in a while. So yeah, D-Hound, he found some nice weather and all that. He retracted it. Okay. Maybe my questions are invisible. Okay, Johnny Cool. We already had an answer your shit about the Raiders. What's your question, D?
Is
invisible.
It true what Jack said about Against All Odds wasn't supposed to come out? He made it seem like Pac was scared of them, and I saw the same thing. And he made it like you guys put it out. Yeah. After he
no. Only thing that Pac said. Only thing that Pac said. Oh, you went to Houston. Okay, so you went to Central City then. Okay, you was in Central City then. Okay, cool. No, he was just supposed to take the Nas verse off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But he even said in an interview, he said, I named the people who shot me. I named who was behind it. I named everything about it. So he admitted that he was going to put it out.
Yeah.
So he didn't judge.
Only person he was going to. No, you said the Rams, nigga. I know. You said the Rams. You said the Rams defense was going to be hot or something like that. Well, I think I said the defense was going to be hot, but I think you like the Rams. But anyway, Haitian Jack just talking, you know. Don't know him, so don't know anything about him other than what Pac was talking about. So, but no, he got that wrong. He got that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got that wrong for sure. What up, Honest Jay? What's up, baby? So cool. All right, well, cool. So y'all know Lassine Parrish, Crooks, still alive.
There we go.
All right.
Weirdo.
Shouldn't you be getting ready for Clinton? Clinton, shouldn't you be getting ready for high school or JC, community college or some shit? Or go to work at McDonald's or Walmart? We need you little 19, 20-year-olds. Y'all don't even motherfuckers can work at Walmart and Jack in the Box and the fast food restaurants and shit. So get that shit right. Don't do that. You 34? Well, then why do you even talk like that, Clinton?
Mm-hmm.
No real 34-year-old man is going to be talking like that. Come on. 34-year-old man is not going to be.
Tupac died, so that's not a stretch. He didn't follow
Yeah,
it.
but a lot of us was that age. I mean, not us. I wish I was. A lot of people was 34. I mean, I don't even, the people that's 10, 12, 14, that's cool, you know. Park legacy really picked up thanks to people like that when they got like 14, 16 and stuff like that.
That's true.
So I'm not going to shit on them.
Yeah.
But 18, 19, 20, he wasn't born. Y'all can't even talk. Y'all just need to be listening. Soaking up game. You 18, 19, 20-year-olds need to just be soaking up game. Yeah. Okay.
He said he was
all
awake.
Right, cool.
That's how he knows. That's how he knows Tupac's alive, because he was awake. Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Weirdos.
All right. Let's see. Well, my boy Q, what up? What up, Q? Reggie, what was up to the L.A. riots? Were you chilling or did you get it popping? I was a cop there. I was working the streets. I was in the streets of Compton. Man, do you know what do y'all think they made us guard in the streets of Compton when the riots broke out?
What, the banks?
Hell no, they didn't care about the banks. Niggas wasn't that smart.
Oh.
The gun store, it was called Boulevard Auto.
Uh-huh.
It was the gun stores, but they were on the roof and shit with guns. The fucking Compton swap meet. And we had the shopping center that they had just built by City Hall where Bonds and Kmart and all of that was. And other than that, they let the city go crazy until other agencies and everything else came. They protected all of that shit. That was it. Yeah. The Compton swap meet, when they had us around the Compton, that was funny. But for the first night, it was wild. It was like Wild Wild West. We was running fire shots at niggas. It was like, that was some fun. But after that, they got a plan in place. So, hey, man, hold on. We got to protect our shit. And, yeah. But no, I was working during the riots. Do you think Pac real dad was after his cat? You don't know. Wired up. No. He signed off for $700,000. $700,000. Do you know what? That was an advance for Feeney for one album. Or 2 albums at the most. Mm-hmm. No, shit, no, that's a lie. She got $3 million an album advance for the first album, and that ain't even the one she did. She did one with Jive before she did one with us.
Yeah.
What was that? Are You Still Down?
Yep. See, I always heard, and I don't know if this is true, so I don't want to say that this is true, but I'm just saying what I always heard was that she did the cremation so quickly so that a DNA test couldn't be done by the dad to try to make a claim on the estate. But I don't know if that's true. That may have just been bullshit.
I don't know. I wasn't in the loop like that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But she never denied that he was the dad.
Yeah, that's true.
She never denied that. So, and I'm sure they had enough blood to still do it. Yeah. Or they had some hair from his pubic or something. The coroner should have to take from underneath his arms or pubic hair. Coroners take all of that stuff. So they could have proved. So I don't believe that.
Okay.
But he signed off for $700. The man is driving a truck now. He's a truck driver right now.
Okay.
Where 700, I think $722,000 or something like that. He said Pac didn't even have $700,000. Yeah, but they knew they had money coming. And Pac knew he had money coming too. He had money coming. Yeah. So. She alluded to that, John. She gave money, so he didn't. Yeah. He should have stayed in Fort though. I mean, you know what? He had to be a stand up, just like I say, Faith had to be stand up for letting Biggie Mom be involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had to be a stand up dude too, because he knew he could have fought for half of that.
Yeah.
He probably just didn't want to. He probably knew he didn't do shit. He probably knew, you know, and so he signed off. He probably didn't want to, you know. Would you have done it? Put yourself in that situation. You know, we all do that just because, you know, I feel that I feel, even though I raised my kids, well, my middle daughter, her mother did most of the work with her. She only lived with me for about the first 8 or 9 years of her life, but I feel I got just as much say so over Kayla's life than her mother does. And she only lived with me for 8 or 9 years, the first 8 or 9 years, so I don't know. I'm not gonna let her mother make no decisions about Kayla without me being involved, and we're gonna have just as much as a say. So, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. What numbers we at now, John?
192.
Oh, we still got a couple of hundred people who tuned in. Okay.
Which is more than the other ones had at their peak.
Well, they just starting back. I'm not gonna shit on them. We ain't gonna shit on them.
They also went on to claim they're the #1 channel, so I'll take a look.
Oh, they still said that?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
They're #1, and they're gonna stay.
They got. Yeah, tell them to look at their live stream views from the last time. Yeah. That's their total views. I think it's 2.5 thousand or something like that. I think you just posted up a remix with Spider Lope, just talking a little bit, and still got 4,000.
Yeah.
Hey, we didn't talk about a BG knockout. What y'all think about that, guys? I thought that was case closed again, huh? BG knockout.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think? I think BG did a good job. Johnny Q say #1 in line. I think I'm starting to believe RJ is delusional.
Yeah. Got the
I just really think
Trump
he's
syndrome.
delusional. Yeah, I think something's wrong with him. I don't think they be lying on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just believe shit, and I don't know. Something about RJ, well, I'm starting to kind of feel sorry for him.
I don't
know. Man, it's a small world, John. I had a guy putting some cameras in my house yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And he looked at me, he kept looking at me, he said, I know you from somewhere. I was like, I don't know. He's like, I know you from somewhere. He said, hey. He said, I was putting some cameras in this guy's house about 2 or 3 years ago. And he was an ex-cop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me some DVDs and he produced. And they were talking about you.
Oh, no.
And he was like, oh. He said, yeah, I think his name was Bonds or RJ or something like that. He said, yeah, I was putting cameras in his house. And he gave me some DVDs and stuff like that. And do you know this motherfucker's been living in Corona? Now, this was 3 or 4 years ago when he said this happened. I really think he moved to Lake Elsinore since then.
Mm-hmm.
But this motherfucker's been living in Corona the whole time. I just laugh. I said, I don't even want to know where he stayed. I don't want to know where it was at. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
I was like, this shit is so crazy. I said, I don't even want to know that about him. You know, I said, because he's sure the hell will call your job, try to get you fired. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I said, this is a small world, though. I just laugh. Yeah. Let's see. Does Reggie know if Spice won? I don't know anything about Spice won. Yeah. I don't even really know more. Yeah. Let's see. Jail Mix is done. Yeah. Tyson's song was the last one.
Yeah, I just responded to Gary. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, cool, y'all.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're trying to. I'm trying to reach back out to the doctor. I had him committed for one day, and I isolate like Monday or Tuesday. I've been kind of busy. I've been doing some work at the house and stuff, getting some stuff together. So that's what's up. You know, nigga be rich at the first of the month. So we got some money at the first of the month. Around the 20th, I'll be sitting my ass at home, broke again. But anyway, what was I talking about? So anyway, we'll get back working. Hopefully, if he's not busy, I ain't gonna mess with you tomorrow. I gotta watch some football tomorrow. They need my football, and so I gotta watch the game tomorrow. So if I'll try to get somebody for Friday if John's available. We'll try to do a stream on Friday.
Okay.
And Saturday I'll be busy all day. I'm doing some taping on my grandmother, getting her ready for her 90th birthday. So.
Damn. Okay.
I'm gonna have a film crew.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Yeah. Glad reached out to me, y'all. Glad want to do an interview with your boy.
You need to do that.
I didn't do it. I'm not doing it. It didn't let me promote Bomb first. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about that. And then Kenneth McCain been working on something for me. I did, and I've been flaking on him too. This guy, something working big. Where this guy from, I'm not speaking on it, but the guy from Fox News want to explode. I just don't want to blow these motherfuckers up.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why I've been, I think I told you about that. Yeah. So I don't know if I want to do that. But we'll see. We'll see what we do. I got to lose some weight again. I done start getting fat again. All my Facebook friends, y'all see how big I done got again. And so I don't want to get into the camera and being fat again. I got to get my sexy look back. Yeah. All right. So cool. So cool. All right, so hopefully we talk on Friday.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. Good.
And if Eugene do call and want to do something tomorrow, we may do it, but more than likely it'll probably be on 313 Live Show if we do anything. So y'all kind of be tuned and see what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fair enough.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Appreciate you, John.
Yep.
Have a good one.
All right.
Okay.
See you guys.